The following is brought to you by the People's National Party.
Make the trumpets play. Jamaican people want better. Economy coming like stormy weather. Ancestors are turning on them grave. To get champion, we can do it together. When we look to the future of precipice, we see Jamaica needs the vision of the BNP. People say the bag of promises, them can't carry go shop. And the crime rate getting higher, wonder when it does now come Rex. Jamaican people want better. Economy coming like stormy weather. Ancestors are turning on them grave. To get champion.
The proceeding was brought to you by the People's National Party.
The scale of dealing with anti-corruption issues. So there is a learning curve that we are going through. What is important is that the government supports the development of the institution so it can accelerate very quickly on that learning curve and provide the resources so that they can move very quickly on the learning curve, and that the government does not intervene or interfere. And that message goes to the opposition as well. Leave the anti-corruption and policing agencies to do their jobs. So why you come to me with that foolishness, you know? You elect a prime minister, and is a prime minister run the country. It is time we learn to hold our leaders accountable for their actions and stop making excuses for them. Stop making excuses. Otherwise, go elect the people who really run in the country. And I don't want the right kind of stupid argument. Hold the people you elect accountable and stop making excuses for them.
Hello, welcome. Blessed Tuesday to everyone in television land. Blessed Tuesday to our silent supporters. Blessed Tuesday to everyone in the chat. As usual, thank you so much for tuning in. Really appreciate the continued support. Remember, guys, when you come in, please thumbs up the live, share us out if you can. And if you're new to the channel, please show us some support by subscribing, which will be greatly appreciated. This evening's topic is the voucher scheme with your host, Mystic Sensation, which is Baron and Anne-Marie, and we also have Melting Pot in the building. Before I welcome those in the chat, I just want us to take a minute of silence just for those persons who have lost their lives during the passage of Hurricane Melissa. The count is at 45 right now, and they are still investigating because there's more bodies that they're looking into because of death and stuff. So we expect the numbers to go up, which is unfortunate. We just want to say condolences to all the families and communities who's lost loved ones. So we're just going to take a minute just to have some reverence in respect for those who have lost their lives. I'm going to start now. Okay, thank you so much, guys. And in that breath, today is Remembrance Day, so we just want to take the time out to say thank you to all the servicemen and women who fought in World War I and World War II, and also to say thank you to all those who are serving right now. Really appreciate and thank them for their service. Let me just go ahead and welcome those in the chat. We have Jonathan Johns, Bloomy Coleman, Patel Cruikshank, Rennie Swaby, Dorothy McCoy, Angela Cole, Mitch Boo, blessings over there in Australia. I would say happy Wednesday to you, or blessed Wednesday. Elaine Turner, Beverly, Frida LaFay, Sonia Ellis, the Dennis Way, Dwight Tyndale, Jenny from the Block, Karine Arancevia, Lindell McCormack, and Freedom. Bless up yourself. Thank you guys for tuning in. Before I hand over to you, Baron, just give me a few minutes. Let me just go over a few things here. First thing, somebody called me today and gave me an idea about mosquito lights, because person is concerned about the outbreak of dengue fever and other diseases that can be caused from mosquitoes. So he was highlighting some insect lights. They're like they're solar powered, and it's like that little mesh thing that you zap them with, but this is bigger and the light attracts them. So once they go onto the light, then they get zapped by it. Let me just see if I could just bring up one here. So that's a good, and they're not expensive. So he was suggesting that if persons who are sending down stuff could buy at least a few, or one or two, and send down so that they can have them to use. So this is what it looks like, and they have smaller ones to $20-something. So it doesn't have to be that big, because I was looking on the variation. So they have some cheap ones, and they're available on Amazon. So it's charged by the sun, and at night it lights up, giving persons light as well. It attracts the mosquitoes, and then it zaps them automatically. So that's one. And then two, Patel Cruikshank is in the chat. He's a paraplegic, and during the hurricane he had an incident where he started getting dizzy, and he needs a wheelchair where the head can be reclined, so that he can lie back once he feels dizzy. He has one, but it's not reclinable. So he's asking if anyone is able to assist him with a reclining wheelchair. And if anybody is interested, can reach out to me, and I will give you his information, and you can liaison with him. Also, the Adopt a Family initiative, the GoFundMe is live. I am going to pin the link, and I'm going to ask persons, please support. We're not asking for ourselves. It's all good and well to give people food and water, but they also need shelter. And right now we having downpour of rain in those areas lasting into tomorrow. So I'm not sure how some of those persons are managing right now without a proper shelter. So please support the initiative. We don't ask for anything for ourselves. We don't come here and ask for anything, but this is for those who are definitely in need. I am going to pin the link, and I'm going to ask for persons to just try and support. Every little adds up. If it's even $1, if 10 persons give $1, that's $10. Those who are not able, don't, because some people are saying that they don't like to use a GoFundMe. I'm also going to put my email for the PayPal account. And as I said, I will screenshot, show whatever amount is in there periodically. Okay, so I'm going to hand over to Baron now, and he's going to start the discussion.
Okay, thank you for that information. Now, Jamaica, I want to say thank you for passing through as usual to Mystic Sensation. And of course, we have Melting Pot in the house. Ratigan will be joining us shortly. And we have some topics that, of course, we are going to be speaking on. And let me just give you a breakdown, right, of some of the topics that we have. We have voucher system checks and balance. We definitely have to delve into that, right? Deliberate hardship, incompetence, and corruption. We have unmeasurable greed and control, crisis within the government shelters, and of course, restoration of the economy. These are some of the topics that we will be speaking on tonight. Before we venture into that, let me just have Melting Pot meet and greet his people, and then we get into our discussion tonight. All right, Melting Pot, meet and greet.
Thank you, Sir Byron. Greetings to everyone tuning in tonight, all our loyal, supported fans, and everyone in Jamaica. I must say to you a very good night. I also want to take the pleasure to extend my personal condolences to the pilot and his daughter who lost their life tragically in trying to give their unwavering support to Jamaica in times of needs. So condolences to that family. I have to endorse my channel in that respect, Mystic Sensation. I also would like to, as usual, take pleasure in acknowledging the host, Sir Lord Byron, and Lady Anne Marie, our technical director, and to our, extended panelists. Ratigan should be in the space in a while. So tonight we will just work along the topic of discussion and try as best to, break them down into the least common factor so everyone can understand, what the real issue at hand is all about. And, for us to just highlight and dissect as we go along. So without any further ado, I hand back the floor to the host.
All right. My Jamaican people, once again, right, thank you for passing through. Well, we have gone 14 days as it relates to the passing of Hurricane Melissa. And we have seen the government from press conference to press conference, right, speaking about plan, right, and speaking about all what they are going to do. But Jamaica, the truth be told, we have thousands of our people being marooned. And I am saying here tonight, which we all know the facts, that the government have the necessary machineries to reach these people. We have heard the government continue to be speaking about logistics and difficulty, right, in getting access to those people. Some of those people are currently dying as we speak. But I want to ask the Prime Minister and his administration, as it relates to road access and access by air, how would road access interrupt access by air when you have the capability as it relates to the Chinook helicopters and other helicopters where you simply can go anywhere, no matter what, no matter how difficult the terrain is. The Chinook helicopter has the capability to go into any terrain. So then, is this being deliberate or gross incompetence induced with corruption? Right? To me, it seems as if it is all of the above. Now, if the government have logistic issues, why ordinary Jamaicans? I'm going to play a clip. because I don't want one to believe that, okay, all right, I'm just bad-mouthing the government. Why ordinary Jamaicans are able to access those victims who have been marooned? I am going to show you a clip with Cameron the fisherman, right? And I'm glad how Cameron did this video. So Cameron, anyway, they big up yourself. Cameron, an ordinary citizen, ordinary fisherman, but has care, has as much care to go into the area that the Prime Minister says maroon, and so then they suffer the inability to reach those areas. But Cameron and others can reach into these maroon areas and address the situation of need. Basic commodities that so in need of: toiletries, sanitary convenience, water, food, and the government has tons of these, plus machinery. So what is it? Is this deliberate incompetence mixed with corruption? For me, it's all of the above. Let us show the evidence that we have, because people might believe that we are somewhat, exaggerating, right, what we are saying. So without any delay, let us show you how Cameron and other caring Jamaican, they are gaining access to these people who are marooned. Let us play into that. Yeah. Yes. Okay, let's come down. We want to play it from where you access the people. Let us play that. I presume that Brother Rattigan is on. Let us play that. Yeah, we want to. Okay, right. Let us look at this, people. Right, the title of this video speaks to how these people are marooned, and as according to the government, right, cannot access these people. And let us be careful to say as not yet have access to these people. Now look at this. Let us show, as it relates to the government having difficulty, as it relates to the government logistics. I don't know which logistics the government is using. Having the capability, right, machineries and tons, right, of deliveries, but yet the government is finding it difficult, while our ordinary Jamaican who care is finding it quite easy. Let us look at this pipe.
So we have to turn back. People are up there, so.
Yeah. See people, and the rice back they have a lot.
So we have to give them a few packets. We have to turn back, man.
Them people there, all pass. Turn and come. Hold on, my general. Give them a turn. So guys, we are supposed to turn in a middle road and go the road thing,
And give them a few.
Yeah, man, we have to go to them people, man. We can't live for them. No.
You think the road block?
No, it's made for road block. So guys, we can't pass them people. They look like they can't wait till we come back.
Yeah, them get on the roadside.
1:30 now, Now 1:30 now, guys. So here we are going to stop at them people and give them a few packages. Just watch what going. We also see some baby.
Yeah. Never can.
Yeah. Yeah, afternoon. What the community name? What the community name? Yeah, man. So what the community name, General? Content. So you have Daddy stand up ahead. We are ahead. All right, cause here we are going now. Cause you know, we don't have no elderly person.
Yes, sir.
Where exactly?
So we get up on the front.
Oh, we have to out on the front. Alright. Alright, so guys, we're gonna check in for them. Alright. Alright, so guys, them people are all out their rice bag and things, so we're going to help them out. Alright, so when I go do this, we have some things, you know, we want to do it in an order. If we not get a line, we are going to just drive. Simple as that, yeah? So we don't have to cooperate. We don't have to make a line. So here we want the line now. Listen me now, we want the line. Company carrier so go in the yard.
Yeah.
I don't want nobody behind.
So come on.
Yeah.
Alright, come in. Alright, so we collect and go in. We don't want nobody at the car back. Alright? So we have to do this in order.
Yeah, man. One day.
Baby, come first.
The kids come first. Come first.
Baby, them, the kids them come first.
No, man. Them look
Alright, stop this now. Line. It's still a rep with the line. Hold this thing around.
So stop walking on the road, so please, Papa.
You want pampas?
No, come around. In another road.
Baby them. Come in. Alright,
Baby's first.
Baby's first. Let me deal with the baby. Here, there. Okay, one more. Alright, take one more.
So we can get one more.
Hold it. I have RG pampas. One over here. Who else wear pampas? Who else have baby? Alright. I'm love Ronaldo. Orderly.
Yeah.
Alright, watch this now.
Whoa, remember male and female, so you have to look on the. Yeah. Yeah. You don't want a pampas for baby?
Yeah, me collect.
Oh, you get diaper, all right.
Thank you, Eric.
Yeah, man, you're welcome.
Hold on, mama. Hold on. We're not finished with it.
Yeah, we have food packages too. So now we don't wait.
Too greedy.
Alright.
I know we have to have conscience.
Yeah, true.
Now food. So we have to go hygiene packet, kids packet, and food.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Pick up. Mama. Listen, mama. All man and your grandma. Alright, make sure I not tell the truth, you know, because if you tell a lie,
Gotta
tell a lie, I do not deal with it.
Alright, guys.
Where's my pampas? Hello. Everybody get that. Yes, you can do it. You get anything you said?
So after I get something else on the other car there, when I'll get some more stuff.
Yeah.
After I collect right here, so I just go right there.
Who else want hygiene packet? What? Everything. And we are YouTubers, Cameron Family TV. On YouTube, so we just buy some stuff. You know, we have a couple people who help you out. And we buy some stuff.
So want a diaper. Yeah, large and medium.
Give me one medium.
You get one of these? You get one of these already? Who else not get none?
So when I finish, I'm gonna go right there so I get something also.
Get the next bucket.
Yeah, man, guys. So this is what we love. Order. Yeah, where is them? Yeah, I'm good there. So face.
Mama, you get everything. You get food. You get food.
So give them 2 bags.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, and the dove for the ladies. Like that. All right. No, big up for yourself.
Yeah. Things they look nice. We really appreciate it.
All right. Nobody got too much in our road. All right. All right. Mama want one of food bag, Cammy.
I would have seen in previous videos. Mama, bless up here, Mama. Wanna go on all the tears and fight to fight. You get everything? You get none of this? Alright.
Yeah, and get one of this. You must say you want one of food bags, Zara. Yeah, all right. You know, so you can close it now. We are go over Dream Island.
Now guys, that's how we do things in order. Yeah,
You know what
we have
I
a
think?
drive.
Wait there, give me a second.
And keep on going with the water, them want water to give people them. Alright, just pick one, just pick one.
Yeah.
Watch your head, Shiva. Yeah. Watch your head.
What are they?
Shiva. One I want.
Hello, good afternoon.
Afternoon, you just come.
Yeah,
Everything done. I do yeah, man, it's done. Alright, so you want this. Yeah, baby?
No, big girl. But my mother know what want. She has said, all the way she don't get no. She can't come
Your
out,
mother,
you know.
oh, she can't come on. That's not no man. What you need? Yeah, what you need? Yeah, we have food.
Thank you.
Food.
Thanks.
Alright, so them
The message, right? And many of these clips, right, out there as it relates to these, I would say, good Samaritans who find access to these people while the government, right, is saying that there are logistic issues and they are unable to find access to these people. Now, let me just have Brother Rattigan meet and greet, and then we get into the program. Brother Ratti, meet and greet.
Yes, mic check. Good night, everyone. Melting Pot, Lydian, Lord Byron, and all of you wonderful people in the audience. Blessings. Pleasure to be here.
Okay.
All right, good. Now, let me begin, right, because tonight is going to be very serious in terms of certain topics that we'll be touching, especially when it comes to the voucher system. We are going to deal with that, right? Because guess what? That's my area of expertise. That's my area of expertise, right? As it relates to loss prevention, right? Some of the big institutions, right, here in Canada and America, right, as it relates to I be the loss prevention manager. So then that's my expertise, and I'm going to teach people, right, that Andrew Owners is venturing into a slippery slope when he talk about the voucher system. But before we get there, let us just address this first clip that we are displayed. Right, Melting Pot. The government is claiming, right, from press conference to press conference, right, gone 2 weeks, 14 days, right, post Beryl, post Melissa, and his his defense in saying that there are logistic issues, while he has in his position, the Jamaica Labour Party administration has, right, in their fleet, 3 Chinook helicopters that has the capability to go anywhere in any terrain of Jamaica and deliver, right? However, we have not seen that done. That have been done in some areas, right? And we have to be truthful in that regards. But 14 days, the Prime Minister had said to Anderson Cooper that immediately after the aftermath, within a couple of days, he would have been able to reach every single person. Now we have gone 14 days. What say you on this issue, Melting Pot?
Well, my take on the issue is that 14 days into Melissa, we haven't seen any changes as it relates to going back to day one. The people are still out there, you know, finding it hard to comprehend with the devastation that hit them. And to compound matters worse, most people have not seen any help coming towards them from the government side. The help that the people actually receive is from local people on the ground trying to, you know, help out a situation where they can. But where the help should come from in terms of, you know, what we know the government have at its disposal, like the food aid relief package. We are not seeing that being distributed. And, you know, getting to people, the government is not taking that as a priority. It's people like the camera and them who are getting into those little pockets that people are marooned off. And so we know the government have the resource. And the government should not be saying that they cannot reach certain people because where they are, it's impossible to get there. Because if you don't get there by road, you can get there by air. We have Chinook helicopters and other helicopters. And the fact that the Prime Minister said to overseas counterpart that he would have the country up and running in less than 2 weeks. Now, less than 2 weeks is less than 14 days. And we are not seeing anything resembling getting the country up and running. People have been neglected because of, you know, who they are in terms of their political affiliation. We know that for a fact and we have to call a spade a spade. We're not going to beat around that. We know politics has engaged this situation like we have never seen it before. I would never believe that on the back of the worst hurricane to hit Jamaica, we have this type of politics being shown worldwide, not just Jamaican alone, worldwide it's seen it. Because we are not just only seeing, we are hearing from the people who are actually, you know, the ones who are suffering. And all we can hear from the big wigs is a lot of gabbing, and nothing of substantial needs for the people. Promises does not alleviate poverty when people get hungry. And the government is playing a politics that does not warrant to be here at this point in time. So we know for a fact that Jamaicans, because of their affiliation, they are being neglected. Some places that I see that does not require the attention that they are being given is getting all the attention, while the worst affected places are being neglected. And we ask the question why. I mean, the government has not provided anything from its own budgetary constraint, you know. What the government have at its disposal at this current point in time is gifts that come from outside of Jamaica to help the suffering need that the people have in Jamaica. And so I would think that the government would have, you know, moved in a concerted effort to distribute and distribute widely. Instead, they are distributing in, you know, areas that they have interest, vested interest, because they are using it as a political magic wand. They are waving it. You understand? we now have to look at this government as an uncaring, government that does not fit to represent Jamaica or any other country in the entire world. The suffering of the people in Jamaica must be the priority of the government of the day. And what we are seeing from the government of the day is that they are trying to hustle what come into the country, to use it at their disposal as if they are the one that provide for the people. These provisions were made by donor country with all respect for the love that they have for Jamaican and Jamaica as a country. And what we are seeing is a government trying to undermine the people's morality for Jamaica by using the aid that come into the country like it's a political spectrum they're creating. Now I listen the parliament session this afternoon, and the Speaker of the House was, making reference to what happened in Jamaica and, trying to still give condolence and reassurance to the people who suffer, not by losing houses, but by losing family member. But one thing I did not hear the Speaker of the House touch upon is the pilot and his daughter that lost their life coming into Jamaica to give us the help and support that we need as a country. And I find that very despicable. And, it is just sad to know that Parliament could recognize so much other important day, like Amnesty Day, which is a priority because we know we have soldiers who participated in World War I. Yeah, Parliament could acknowledge certain ministers for them work and them other distinction and them other of Jamaica. And we know so them are garbage who them are, big up. But just to make mention of the pilot and them daughter who lost their life tragically, they probably have a oversight. Them never see it. So, we just want to know so well then we highlight these things because we find the house right now in a state of shambles. Simply for the fact of the matter that the Speaker should not be in the chair. And certain people who have portfolio, like Minister Morgan, aka Bug Life, should not even command that position where him have. So we now get nothing right. But going back to the situation that matters on the ground right now, I am saying to this government, you have to start to think realistically what you are doing. Because as Byron say, you're going down a slippery slope and it's no joke. Because we see what you are doing and the outside world see what you are doing as well and they hear what you are going on with. And what you are only creating is a situation where people might stop giving you aid for the people who need it because they find you very corrupted and your party very corrupted as well. The distribution should have never been in the politician hands. It should have been into a central agent like ADPEM. Yeah, we know ADPEM was designed for this type of, emergency relief situation. And so when it's in the hands of politicians, it's only one way it can go. It go down the road of politics. Yeah, because that's what politicians play. Politics. So we are in a situation now where we are calling on the government of the day, none more so than the man charged with the responsibility of running the country, Andrew Holness, to wake up out of your idea of scamming and be true to the people and give the donation that comes for the people and to the people. Don't take it and try to use it as a political spectrum where you're asking for things that some of the people can't even provide, like ID for collect them like a food package. Most of these things are destroyed in the aftermath of Hurricane Melissa because your idea is something where, you probably could have reached where it was. You probably unexpected the circumstance of how the hurricane hit you. A lot of people get caught out by it, Some people don't even have it in the first place. Yeah, because you have some people live up in some little area in Jamaica, We guarantee you them not no passport. Them not no driver's license. Yeah. And when you ask for requirement just to get something to eat, it is bad. Because the simple fact of the matter, the government of Jamaica does not provide these things. I know for a fact, yeah, that maybe 1 and 2 private sector, after we start to highlight them and them shabbiness, might have donated a few things. But the majority is coming as gift for the people, not for the government. And the donor them never send it for the government, use it as a political weapon. Yeah, where I use it and I victimize communities and people. I victimize all certain people who, you know, belong to the next party. And we see it happening live on video. We see a George wrong are distributing when it should be doing Vaz. We see people flying from Kingston, yeah, pack up in a Troval, Hamilton constituency, and I'm on out thing and I make video. Me know the donor country, them never send a thing for this type of activity take place. Yeah? You can't use the people them goods and I make video with it for a political mileage. It is wrong. I will call upon it, Prime Minister, to wake up out of your slumber and do the right thing. Get the goods out to the people them and get it out there in bulk so the people them can get all 1 week supply what are things. Send in the truck them because you have over 200 truck for yourself. Yeah, get private contractor to move the thing. You're moving too slow because when you do it like this, you can't get to scam the goods them. Yeah, because you say, well, people are look at a 5 week or 6 week now. Yeah, but the 5 week or 6 week, the volume of goods don't reach the people. Where should I reach them? Yeah, because you wait upon individual, yeah, all over the world to help the people them rather than you, the government, taking the responsibility. And remember, I'm going to repeat again, you get so much donation, you know, short of things. We know that we are fact, you know. You are not short on supply. Food and water come in. You get money, you get all type of things. Use it for its potential. Yeah? Don't use it to your detrimental. Because if you suffer the people are going to turn against you. Use the things them for their potential use, which is to give to the people. Make the goods serve that purpose. Stop playing politics with the donation. Too much of you guys now have hands on the distribution. And I say again, it should have been in the hands of ADPEM. ADPEM would have created even charity work alongside them. Yeah. I know a lot of people would have volunteered for work with ADPEM in the distribution of the goods were coming into the country. But because you want to play political mileage, you take over everything. And on the back of a hurricane, I can't believe you should aside the agency that is charged with that responsibility. It is wrong. And I yield back the floor to another member of the panel.
All right, thank you for that, melting pot. Brother Rattigan, let us look at this, right, through every lenses that we can look at it on. 14 days post Hurricane Melissa. Press conference after press conference. The Prime Minister who spoke to Anderson Cooper said he is well prepared, right? And of course, he will be ready to deal with the recovery process. Now, 14 days. We have thousands of Jamaicans who are marooned. When you look at it, Brother Rattigan and Melting Pot, the Prime Minister has in his position, and let us say the Prime Minister administration has in their position all the capabilities to reach to those people. You and I and Melting Pot know that the Chinook helicopters can reach in the most rugged terrain and assist and save life. Brother Rattigan, I want you to look through your lenses and tell us what would be the possible reason 14 days and we have thousands of Jamaicans still marooned. Your take on the matter, Brother Rattigan.
Well, I said from the beginning that I wasn't about to criticize the government like the early stages because you like to say how they perform because they, as you said, openly proclaimed to the world via the media outlets that they were prepared. They had 881 shelters. What I am now witnessing, I know I feel justified in criticizing what I'm seeing. Because as you said, it's been a while now, and overall the situation hasn't changed. If you go back and you look at when it first started, and you compare it to now, not much has changed. People are still marooned. People are still suffering. And in some cases, it would appear as if people are dying. Now, how did we get here? Considering that we were told that the country was prepared. This is an indictment of the government, as far as I'm concerned. It openly displayed and continues to display a lack of leadership, a lack of planning, a lack of foresight. And whenever you have those ingredients, you know you should prepare for a disaster. So now we're preparing for a disaster on top of a disaster. The Jamaican government has received a lot of aid. Big up to the Good Samaritans. The question I have to ask is, how come the Good Samaritans can find those people, but the government just can't seem to find these people with all the transportation that they have at their disposal, including the helicopters? How come they can't find these people? Unless they're going to tell me that the people on the street begging water, they're just begging everybody and the government gave them already, and so them just greedy and them just out there ask for more. Unless that's the argument they're going to make, and I haven't heard anybody make that argument yet. One of the things that the Prime Minister, and I caution him about how he's disposing of the aid or distributing the aid will not come in perpetuity. At some point in time, the aid will stop. And what I haven't heard about the plan going forward, because if we believe what the experts are telling us about the estimates, it is somewhere, the estimate is somewhere in the region of, I don't know, 3 to 6 billion US dollars with a B. And if you look at the cat bonds that we've collected on, if you look at the aid coming in, nowhere near what it's going to cost to rebuild. So the question is, what's the plan going forward? We know that there was no plan coming into this. Despite what they tell you, there was no plan coming into this. They have things on paper, but I can testify to the fact that the government is good at putting things on paper. When I say no plan going forward, I'm talking about implementation. No implementation. And there is this desire to obfuscate. There's this desire to trick people, to manipulate words. For example, when you tell people you have 881 shelters, you didn't tell them how many of those shelters are hurricane-proof certified. And I found out that none of them, not one.
Not one.
And not one. Not one. So when they said 881 shelters, they're talking about schools, community centers, and churches, for the most part. No, if they were a proactive government, Beryl should have been a signal to them. It should have, the fact that we're in a hurricane belt, that should have been a signal a long time ago to everyone. But Beryl came last year, and you think that they would say, okay, let's build some hurricane-proof shelters. And I've said they should build a very large one in each county, and then you have some satellite ones where you can pre-position food and all the necessaries to withstand the aftermath of a hurricane. People will tell you that you can't prepare for a Category 5 hurricane, but at the same time, you can't throw up your hands, and that's exactly what happened. Them just throw up them hands and said, okay. And I know some people are going to say, well, no, them never did that, blah, blah. Well, as far as I'm concerned, I'm talking about the planning stage. Talking about the planning. That no matter what they told you, they threw up their hands. They don't know what they have no clue what they were doing. None. And we're seeing evidence of that daily. What happened last week? What happened was that they replaced the management over at Penn. Right. An agency that is the Jamaican version of FEMA. They're responsible for dealing with disasters. And if you think about it, they're called the Office of Disaster Preparedness. The emphasis is on the word preparedness. There's no preparation. None that I can think of. Not enough substance. And it's openly displaying that feature to us right now. We see it almost on a daily basis. But as I said, the aid is going to dry up. You're not going to get aid every week, every day. It's going to dry up. And the question is, what is the plan? We don't hear nothing about that. Nothing. So all this is the moves that they're making. Oh, and by the way, why is it that the Prime Minister suddenly decided to move ODPEM into his office after saying that ODPEM, they're the conduit, they're the clearinghouse for aid coming into Jamaica? He said they're getting the aid, and then he's going to put them under his office because he said they need, there has to be coordination, as if there was no coordination prior to now. And look when them do it. Them do it when we need the independence of that office right now. And what he's done is moved it into his office, and God knows what's going to happen with the aid. Because look, I can't speak for everyone. In fact, I speak for myself. I don't trust the Prime Minister with money. I just don't.
Well, Ratty, I will be opening your eyes tonight.
Okay.
So, yeah, we'll be getting to that. I'll be opening your eyes tonight.
All right, my brother. I'm looking forward to it. I just don't trust him with money. I just don't. And it goes back to the investigations conducted by the Integrity Commission. Even though they didn't recommend prosecuting him, just looking at the facts as they were borne out, I just don't. And then for him now to move it into his office and say, and remember knowing him of about 19 agencies in his office already, and now he says this is the best place to coordinate all of these things. And I when I heard it, I wanted to ask him, is this the best place to coordinate corruption? Is this the best place to do it? Oh, yeah. Because and then also, I'm hearing reports on a daily basis that people within his party, influential members, they're getting tired of him, and they just can't wait to see the back of him. They just can't wait to see it. But they're afraid. They're afraid to jump out and do what we are doing, which is to be critical of everything that's going on. So, look, at the end of the day, we have a long road ahead of us, and I'm kind of happy. I say kind of happy that the Auditor General, she's now taking a proactive step and says she's going to be looking at the money in real time, for accountability purposes, which is a good thing. And look, when you see people doing all of this, you know that they must say the same thing that me I say. We cannot trust the Prime Minister with money. We cannot trust him with money. Everybody now is saying, no, we're not going to wait 4 years and look backwards and say what happened to the money. We're looking at it real time and said, where is the money going? So with that, I'm waiting now for you to open up my eyes, my brother. Thanks.
All right, brother Rati. And I, want to, speak clearly of certain evidence that I'm going to present tonight. Right, you have seen the Prime Minister made a move, as what Melting Pot mentioned earlier, and Rattigan in extension, speaking about ADPEM. Right? Now, ADPEM is responsible for all donations, right? All aids, right, going into or processed by the government, coming into for the government, coming into the country for the government. That's ADPEM responsibility. There are serious situations with this. As I said, the Prime Minister is going down a very, very slippery slope. I'm going to show you the evidence, right, why I say that. And indeed, the Prime Minister is going down a slippery slope. The Prime Minister's primary reason to have ADPEM under his portfolio right now is to avoid checks and balance. I'm going to show you the evidence, clear, to avoid checks and balance. Because the Prime Minister wants to make use of the much needed aid, and particularly the insurance, the catastrophe bond insurances. And let me take time in terms of what is coming out of ADPEM. I'm going to show you two documents, what is coming out of ADPEM. And then we are going to get into the detail, right, and deal with the investigation. The Prime Minister cannot help himself. Let me say this to the world. The Prime Minister cannot help himself. The Prime Minister is addicted, is deeply addicted as it relates to dishonesty. Now, let us go to document 1 and show one of the technocrats from out of ADPEM what they are saying. The technocrat from out of ADPEM. And I want people to see it for themselves. Okay, this is document 1. Okay. Now, this is what one of the technocrats from out of ADPEM is saying. There are many helicopters here from the USA, very large ones. A resource we never ever had, but we still can't get to the suffering people with food. That was my concern then and now, and when I started. Trelawney was the exit point of the hurricane. People are homeless all over North and South Trelawney, and up to Wednesday, the only support Clarkstown saw was the Chinese business community that sent a truck with care package of goods, of food. God bless them though. Many cost them. There is a kitchen set up at the convention center supplying 60,000 at meals daily. Yet Trelawney next door and right back to Portland was not the list where those who need, right, can get a hot meal. I want to read back that over. Right? Now hear what this person is saying. There is a kitchen. This is what the technocrat is saying. There is a kitchen set up at the convention center supplying 60,000 hot meals daily. But yet, Trelawney next door next door to the convention center, and right back to Portland, from Trelawney right back to Portland, were not on the list where those who need that hot meal, you understand, can get. You tell me what is going on with this. There is no place in disaster management for politicking and PR and grandstanding. The Prime Minister is supposed to be in charge from the Weather Service advises of the impending disaster, and ADPEM advises the PM to activate the National Disaster Committee, right? Let us get now to the second document. Bring up the second document. Let us show people what is going on as it relates to Andrew Holness administration. Let us show people the evidence. This is the ADPEM technocrat. So let us show people what he is saying. Right? From the PM is in charge. Daily meetings to ensure readiness, and that was be in place, right? Is in place. When shelters are activated, the shelter managers take charge, and the shelters are stocked with preliminary supplies and bedding to accommodate the numbers that the particular shelters can accommodate. Rattigan and Melting Pot will witness that in several shelters, there was no food and there was no water there. Let me ask the question. So how prepared Andrew Holness administration was prepared? In many shelters, of the 800 so-called shelters that Andrew Holness have, several of them have no food and no water. So Andrew Holness, come and tell me how prepared you were prepared. Now listen to this. After Gilbert in 1988 and a change of government in 1989, an evaluation post Gilbert, a statutory body was formed, ADPEM, to take over the functions of the ODP, Office of Disaster Preparedness. The functions of emergency management was added to ensure that the country was not only prepared for an emergency, but in the aftermath could effectively and adequately manage the relief efforts and more. 14 days, people. 14 days after the aftermath. Andrew Holness administration cannot access thousands of persons who are marooned, and yet, as it relates to what the technocrat of ADPEM is saying, that he have these helicopters in his position, right? He has the capability, right? He has the ton loads of donations, but yet the PR, the press conference after press conference, and those people have not yet been accessed by the Jamaica Labour Party administration. You tell me, people. A board of directors was appointed, headed by Ilan Beckford, a banker. The Master Builder Association had a seat on the board. The Chief Medical Officer of Health was on that board. Members of the opposition party was on that board. I, the technocrat, served on that board. I, the technocrat, serve on that board. And this is what the technocrat is saying. Take that document away. This is what the ADPEM technocrat is telling Jamaica, that something is graphically wrong with Andrew Holness. It's as if Andrew Holness is carrying out a vengeance on the people. It's Andrew Holness' actions are deliberate to have the people suffered. Then one can tell me, try to make me understand that if you have the machineries, you have tons of aid. Our ordinary people, like Cameron, Coolers, and others, are getting to areas where the Prime Minister is claiming that he have logistic problems. Then if you have logistic problems, how Coolers and Cameron and others are getting there? That is the question that you need to answer. How Coolers and Cameron and others are getting in the areas where you, the government, have much more capability. But tonight I'm going to expose you. Because your deliberate action disguising, right, as it relates to what you're coming out with now, right, a voucher system. So Prime Minister, Mystic Sensation is here. So that is the reason why you have placed ADPEM under your responsibility, because what you are doing, you're not focusing, right, on rescuing these people. You are now focusing on a voucher system. I'm going to explain it to people. You are focusing on a voucher system. Because this voucher system that you are focusing on, right, is the way that you can use, right, to now cash in on insurances, cash in terms of converting, right, those donations into cash where you can benefit. I'm going to expose you tonight. Now, this is my cup of tea, right? And as I said, loss prevention managers for various institutions, right? Some of the biggest institutions in the world. So, Prime Minister, we are going to expose you tonight. Now, let me say this. Let us get into, and I want to say to Dean Jackson Miller, because it appears to me that it seems like Dean Jackson Miller, right, is one of those journalists that asking the direct questions and the right questions to Andrew Holness administration, because Dean Jackson smells it. Dean Jackson smells it. And Dean Jackson knows it. Dean Jackson, anyway, they big up yourself. Now let us play this clip. Let us get down, because we are going to expose the Prime Minister tonight. Yes, Prime Minister, we'll be exposing you tonight. Let us get into this, because I want to build up the background for the people. Go ahead, because we know why Dean Jackson is on you.
Of dollars are going to be coming in terms of relief. Why have we not yet heard the announcement of an independent oversight committee to include, for instance, private sector, civil society, and opposition members to monitor the expenditure that is going to be done, along with regular reporting to Parliament? What we don't want is an Auditor General's report 6 months after the fact. Second, I've been hearing everything that's been said. However, the national response, the immediate national response, has been slow and inadequate. The government has been acting as if it didn't know the kind of damage that a Cat 5 would have done. Why have we not seen immediate deployments of mass aid to the affected communities, along with things like immediate erection of warehouses to hold such aid, immediate erection of mass shelters and or evacuations? And then finally, for now, why had we not seen an equivalent in-time response to Westmoreland as there was to St. Elizabeth, seeing that that was where the eye of the hurricane made landfall? So it was obvious that there would also have been catastrophic damage there. Minister, billions
All right,
of
take it
dollars
away,
are going to
honey.
be coming in
Dear
terms of
Jackson,
relief. Why have we not yet
sit
heard
tight.
the announcement?
Sit tight, Dean Jackson. Because we are going to show you what is happening, Dean Jackson. Sit tight. Now, play the next document for the people. Play the next document for the people. And listen to the Prime Minister, my Jamaican people. Yeah. Oh, this document. Yeah. Let us show the people this. And this is where we are going to delve deep. Now, Ratty and Melting Pot, I am not even going to play the video. I want you to pay attention to this document, Ratty and Melting Pot. Let us break it down for the people. Because the Prime Minister exposed himself right here and tell Jamaica who he is. Now read, the government to transition to voucher system for aid delivery. Prime Minister, you're wrong. You're going down a very slippery slope. Prime Minister, let me warn you. You're going down a very slippery slope. Because if you transfer to a voucher system, you have to have a PI system ready. I'm going to tell the people what a PI system is. And you transforming to a voucher system simply means you want to avoid checks and balance and transparency. If you don't have a PI system, if any accountants listening to me, they know what I'm talking about. I am going to show the people what is the PI system. Now, the government will be moving to a voucher system for the distribution of aid relief in the coming months after physical supplies have been depleted. Ratty and Melting Pot. What the word depleted mean?
Depleted means it clear out, you know, have nothing left. Mash down.
Ratty. What the word depleted mean, Ratty? Is Ratty on the panel?
Yeah, depleted. As you would have said. Gone. Depleted mean it empty. Not there.
I want, well, I think I asked you that question, Ratty. I want the Jamaican people to catch on what I am saying. Let me read it over. The government will be moving to a voucher system for the distribution of aid relief in the coming months after physical supplies have been depleted. Let me ask you a question, Ratty. So if all the supplies depleted, where the Prime Minister will be getting the funding from to continue to sustain the aid? Enough people not asking that question. If the physical supplies will be depleted, the question, where the Prime Minister is going to get that money from to sustain the aid. Okay, let us move on. You were saying something, Ratty?
No. That I don't want preempted. No, go ahead, because I have an idea where the money is coming from, but go ahead.
Okay, all right. The Prime Minister, Dr. Andrew Ones, says the distribution of the aid is an expensive venture and can put workers at risk in handling the crowds of people.
What?
He says this part of the relief operation is not sustainable for the long term. You know what I say, Andrew? We can't carry this on forever or for too long. at some point, we will transition to a voucher or a coupon system where instead of carrying the bag of relief items, you will get something that is equivalent to cash, and you can go to your nearest shop in your area where we will stock and supply them, and you get your items advised. Now, if these people, right, who will be giving, right, these vouchers, right, which company, Prime Minister, is getting the contract to print these vouchers? Question number one. And when these shopkeepers or community, these shops that in the community, I'm getting a feedback. Turn off one of the mic. Yes. Bring it up. Let me. Okay. Let us ask a question. Right? These. I'm still getting a feedback.
We're getting a feedback because none even have been opened.
Another mic. Turn off. Okay.
Melting pot.
Okay. All right. Melting pot. Remain. Keep a mic off. Melting pot. Okay. So then, isn't that this voucher system in terms of when those community folks carry these vouchers to the shopkeepers, right? The shopkeepers in return is going to have to cash in those vouchers. Those vouchers, right? Now, Dr. Owens said restoring Jamaica local commerce is, especially Western parishes, is now a national priority. This is what the Prime Minister continued to say. Small business operators and rural communities have been unable to reopen because of the inaccessible roads, lack of electricity, and are no connectivity, leading to disruption in the distributive trade. Now, let me ask the question. If these areas are inaccessible, Rattigan and Melting Pot, right? And the Prime Minister is going to give them supplies. Just like how the Prime Minister say him have logistic problem, right? Then isn't that the Prime Minister is still going to have logistic problems as it relates to, further down if those situations not being addressed, to deal with that situation, to make sure that you stock and restock these people. Now, speaking of Thursday's special media briefing, Dr. Owens commended the private sector for their role in getting larger retailers and distributors reopened. But he said while recovery efforts are underway, getting small business back on their feet is also critical, right, to restoring a sense of normalcy. As I told you, Jamaica, what is clear is that local commerce has been badly hit. The local shops are closed. The local pharmacies are closed. Markets are closed. We need to get those stood up. Private sector has a role to play in that, and I see where they have started getting the gas stations open, ensuring that the large distributions are open, the large supermarkets and wholesales are open, especially in the urban areas, right? I like that. But I also want the small shop in Adelphi or in Springmount or wherever else that those shops reopen, he said. Now let us take that away. Where am I going? Right? Now, I speak about a PI system. What is a PI system? Now, look at this, Ratty. Now, let us show the people what is a PI system. And we are going to ask some questions here. Let us show what is a PI system so the people can understand where I'm going. Ratty, this is it. It seems like melting pot drop off. A PI system, a perpetual inventory system, is a computerized accounting method that continuously tracks inventory in real time. Accountability updating stock levels with every purchase, every sale or return. It differs from a periodic system by using technology like barcode scanners and point of sale system to provide immediate and accurate information, eliminating the need for constant manual counting. This system allows business to maintain a current record of inventory levels and the cost of goods sold at all times. Real-time tracking. The system automatically records every transaction, so inventory levels are constantly updated. When an item is sold, its quantity is immediately reduced in the system. Now, and right, immediately reduced in the system. Now, why I show the PI system? Now, when we look and see the Prime Minister take over ADPEM, let us ask the question, Ratty. We would believe that ADPEM have some system in terms of recording all the information, right? And so then we are saying that, and we're asking the question, is the Prime Minister want to avoid melting pot is bad? Is the Prime Minister want to avoid those checks and balance system? Because guess what, Ratty? Let me pull that a little bit. You not having a PI system, Ratty, you cannot track the goods from the warehouse. Number one, you are going to, for all the goods that the Prime Minister, for all the donations that the Prime Minister received, I want the people them to understand me. For all the donations that the Prime Minister is receiving and the insurances that the Prime Minister is receiving, ADPEM would have recorded them. The Prime Minister manipulate that and take over ADPEM. Could it be Ratty to avoid, right, these checks and balance? Because without a PI system, right, you have to have all the donations that going into ADPEM being properly recorded. Now, when they are leaving out, right, these products, right, need to be listed, right, as it relates to the amount that each truck is going to occupy. So if you have truck one, right, and truck one is carrying, say, just for simple understanding, say truck one is carrying 10 bag juice or 10 juices. The truck driver need to sign that out. Not only that, the truck need to carry a seal. Policy position need to be stated as it relates to who opened that seal, as it relates to the delivery point where the Prime Minister is going to deliver that, so that it can track. One of the reasons why that is important as it relates to tracking at the truck system, because you don't want to give, and this is what the Prime Minister is doing, creating these gaps. You don't want to give a truck driver X amount of goods and the truck driver stop half of the journey, take the goods out and deliver it to someone else. You understand? So that he can make, you understand, some money. So then there have to be a seal provided so that if the seal broken as it relates to the delivery truck, it must not be received. So policy has to be implemented here. That if the truck that is going to do the delivery and the seal broken, it should not be received by who is going to receive that. Now, let us ask the question. If you don't have a PI system, right, and we are not recording as we go along, then if we give truck A 200 sodas to carry, 200 crate of sodas to carry, and the government manipulate the system that you give the truck driver actually 400 crate of sodas to carry, and you don't list that, how are you going to track that? So then you have to have an oversight committee that is going to ensure that the corresponding data as it relates to the amount of items in the warehouse, because you have to have, right, your warehouse inventory. So if you are going to, all of the goods being received, right, from outsiders, right, but they are going to use 2 warehouse or 3 warehouse, you understand, to hold all of those, you must carry, right, a PI system so that all inventories can be recorded, and all inventories that are going to be distributed has to be recorded. So then we want to find out from the Prime Minister, the Prime Minister need to come out and tell Jamaica as it relates to what sort of system that he's going to use to track these deliveries and ensure that these deliveries get to the right people and get to the right place of delivery. What sort of system that the Prime Minister is going to use? So then, just taking over ADPEM and you put, right, all the deliveries in ADPEM, and you just loading them as according to maybe what he wants to do and send them out. It avoid all checks and balance. This is the reason why Dean Jackson is asking these questions. One, right, an oversight body to track, to manage all, right, all of these donations going into ADPEM. So if you don't have a PI system, how are you going to manage all of these deliveries going into the warehouse and leaving the warehouse? And when it comes to trucking, these goods that you are putting on the truck, how are you going to track it? Right? Are you going to use, as it relates to what I speak about, that they have to be properly sealed? And so then you don't want to send a truck en route from Kingston to Ochi or from Kingston to Montego Bay. You don't have a tracking system in place, you understand, as it relates to where the truck properly sealed, and you don't have policy in place as it relates to who's supposed to, you understand, pull that seal. And if that seal to pull, it simply means that seal is supposed to be pulled by the truck driver and the person who is receiving it. So then the truck driver handing over 10 cases of beer to the receiver and whatever information is there with a purchase order or certain things, the receiver is going to check off, okay, all right, 10 crate of drinks on my purchase order, this and that and that and that, and tabulate, you understand, because the receiver witness, you understand, the seal broken as it relates to where that is going to go. Now, if again you have a system in place where the truck should have a security personnel, you understand, attached to the truck to ensure that the driver, right, doesn't stop on the way, you understand, and pass staff valuable goods, you understand, to friends and company to make a side buck. Now, if the Prime Minister doesn't want any checks and balance, and if the Prime Minister is truthful, that the Prime Minister is talking about, okay, he's going to make sure that all these community shops, right, get these products. Is it a pretext that it is not really every community shops are going to get the product? Is that the Prime Minister have already would have business interests, people who is going to give most of these aids to, you understand? And then, right, how is it going to work that if you are going to cash in those vouchers, right, the Prime Minister is not setting up a system, or the Jamaica Labour Party administration, Rattigan and Melting Pot, is not setting up a system that, okay, all right, we give you 200 vouchers, but really, what we have given you, right? We give you 200 vouchers for 200 crate of sodas, but what we really give you, we give you 1,000, right, crate of sodas, and so then that what you are going to sell, right, that money is going to might be cut in half. You understand? The thief in administration get a portion, and you get a portion, and then there is no accountability because there is no proper recording process of a PI system put in place. You understand? So let me hear what Brother Rattigan has to say in terms of what I speak to, and then we go to Melting Pot. Brother Rattigan.
Is this frozen? I think he's frozen.
Brother Rattigan frozen? All right. Since Brother Rattigan frozen, let me bring Melting Pot in the space. Brother Ratti, Melting Pot.
Yes, sir, Byron. You're right, you know. We need that PI system in place because everything has to be done using the international model when it comes to distribution of relief. And I can understand why Andrew Wallace is shying away from the international model. Why Andrew Wallace find it lucrative at this time to get rid of ADPEM.
Yes.
It smell and it stink of corruption. That's my take on it. Because under no circumstance should Jamaica allow Andrew Holness to commission a voucher system where food relief distribution is concerned. Because that's not how I see distribution to people in need is being done. Yeah, if you look at Gaza, they didn't have a voucher system in place.
Exactly.
Gaza was catering for more millions of people than what Jamaica have right now.
Yes.
You understand? But the truck them went into the areas and load the distribution for the people to absorb it. It's for the people, right? We are seeing Andrew Wallace trying to utilize some Ponzi scheme once again. Because Andrew don't tell us how these shopkeepers will be compensated for them time.
Exactly.
Yeah, I remember one shop probably we have 2 or 3 workers in there to take on the amount of people coming with voucher. Those people will have to be paid. You understand? But Andrew is talking about ADPEM, you know, creating a budget while they're not working. And I'm saying to Andrew Holness that your system will create a bigger budget than what ADPEM would cost the government. But we all know that ADPEM is the agency who's supposed to undertake this responsibility. Because ADPEM can be monitored by you, the central government. Because if you're running everything the way it's supposed to structure, you know, you, the central government, have the right to audit ADPEM. You understand? Because you know what ADPEM get, and ADPEM is charged with that responsibility to distribute it to the areas affected. So everything have checks and balance. So you alone cannot have everything at your disposal where you are charged with the responsibility of checks and balance for yourself. We're not allowing that. We want the system to run or we know international system run when it comes to relief package for people in need. We don't want the government to be hands-on with this thing, because what this is causing right now is a chaos amongst people. Some people will benefit from this as it relates to even the shop them that will get it to distribute it. Because I know you're not going to do anything the right way. Your system and your style is one that constitutes scamming, robbing, and corruption. We can't have you now hands-on on the donor gift and running it like you're running the government. You have more interest in running this donation relief package than all you interest you have in running the country. And we see it. And we have to call it out. Because all these mechanisms are unnecessary that you want to put in place. We are saying it should be done just like how you hear Sir Byron outline it. Checks and balance, using the perpetual inventory system, right? And what we want is the system to flow along the line where everybody know their role and responsibility. The truck driver know when him get him goods, it have the seal off and go on. Who are receive it know say them have to witness the seal when the seal is being broken.
Yes.
Unless that goods cannot be delivered, it have to go back. Now I know a truck driver now want to do 2 trips in one, and when him go back at the point and when him pick up him delivery, him in a problem with Oogie because him have to have him in vice. That's how we want it run. So if you are now citing cost effect, yeah, why you can't have AdPem, but you went put in a system where you think say, well then we are idiot, we not say it even cost more than AdPen. Because remember, I know you have to print voucher, number one. Number two,
we'll get the contract to print the voucher.
Right. Number two, that voucher is going to turn into cash at some stage along the line.
Exactly.
No, I know when it comes to cash, and Andrew Holness, the entire world have a problem with him, with that. We cannot allow Andrew to take the donation and then liquidate it into cash. That is sending a warning to everybody with critical skill to think that Andrew Holness is onto something. Why you want to go all the way down the lane to find a ways and means to steal from the poor once again? Because these areas, you know, that are affected, you know, poor people live there. Not happen to upper Cherry Garden, Beverly Hills, upper Red Hills and all them places there, you know. No, them places are right. Yeah. So everything now is geared around the fraud in the poor once again. Because just to hear the man come out and say it cost money to distribute. Remember, I should have glad same get things to distribute. And we know Jamaican will rally around the cost, yeah, and volunteer to distribute these things. We are that type of a nation. We help each other. But the Prime Minister come up now with a reason why him a go to this system of voucher. Now we know we can't have that. And we are telling you, Mr. Prime Minister, we are not prepared to sit here and allow you to commission this type of behavior practice about voucher for food relief. The donor them never give it for this purpose. And I know right now, if the donor country them hear your policy going forward, it's a red flag that for you and Jamaica. Because you turn the donation into money, profit making for you and your party and your members affiliated. And we are calling on the private sector organization to come out and shed some light on this situation. Because you will have to spend money, you know, as a government, you know. where we know you don't have right now, but you're prepared to spend it because you can make 10 times the amount where you're going to spend, or 100 times the amount where you're going to spend. Yeah? That is your aim. And we have to make sure no we stop you. Because you no good for the people of Jamaica, you know. I mean, I'll tell you why you're not good. I mean, I'll show the people them say you're not good. You see, when you have crisis, you are the father figure, because you're supposed to be the father figure for the country, chief civil servant. You're supposed to, by all means, reach to your people them out of your own pocket, yeah, which is the taxpayers' money. But you don't have that, so you get international help from all quarters, government and private donors and all these things, yeah. Them give it, you know, but you're still stingy. You talk about cost effect to distribute the thing where the people them give you when you never have nothing to distribute to the people them. You have the army, you have the police, you have people from civil society group like the churches who will work, give them time as a charitable means, you have to help the cause of the Jamaican who suffer. But you bypass all of these things. That me see I do. You bypass the country resource, yeah, in times of emergency and want to now invest into emergency. There should be no investment. There should be no voucher coming from your mouth. There shouldn't be nothing of this sort. Get the thing them out there as all you hear Sir Byron tell you. Have the warehouse them, have the truck them go there, go pick up load. You know where it's going, you know how much they on it. Yeah. Make sure no it's sealed when it leave the warehouse. Member of Parliament who's receiving that truck know that they cannot receive the goods from the truck if the seal is broken. So everything run under a transparent manner. Yeah. People from within the church community, even the same people them down there will distribute it. You don't need to spend no money for distribution. People will carry things, go give people. Jamaican are not heartless like you and wicked like you. A young man knows a mass joke, this about mass joke can't come down a distribution point. Yeah. People know some mass joke up there. Them know who designated to carry mass joke things go give him. So mass joke don't even have to come down from where him there. Because we know our people them in times of need, them reach out for each other, help each other. So I don't buy into this voucher business. This voucher thing is for you and your party make a killing for the donation goods that come in the country.
Exactly.
Literally, I sell you one, sell it back to the people. Sell it back to the people, basically. You understand? Because I know if you're fucking, you're going to ration the voucher them. Some people can't get voucher, while other people have whole heap of voucher till them know if you do with voucher. This remind me about Gilbert and the zinc them when it come in. I see him, so your party did angle that. Same way. People when need a zinc can't get zinc, but people when need a zinc have zinc a sell. Everybody know about it. And you come back again with the same anti-panky business. Like you want to trick Jamaican once again. We're not going to allow it, man. Free up the goods of that they say. Roll out the truck them from the warehouse. Make it go in at the community where needed. Yeah, relieve yourself of some of them duty where you take on. Them responsibility roll on your own. Leave it to the agency. Them you have too much agency under your umbrella. And it don't look good. Everybody knows that you're a criminal. By just putting the agency them under your portfolio, you are in charge of every move that the agency them make. While the agency them who did it, just did it like mannequin, not doing nothing, but I get taxpayers' money as salary. Because that like this man click long time, you know. You push your APM out of the space where them supposed to operate on the back of a disaster, a category 5 hurricane. You understand? That is what I see you doing. I don't condone this behavior here. This behavior here stink and it rotten and it smell like corruption. It look like corruption and it is certainly corruption. And I yield back the floor.
All right. Thank you for that, melting pot. But Brother Rattigan, before I bring you in this space, there are some factors that I want you to consider. Right? The Prime Minister made a statement that after donations deleted, thank you for that, melting pot. Depleted. Right? After donations depleted, he will be going to a voucher system. I am asking, Brother Rattigan, where the Prime Minister is going to find that cash to sustain the voucher system. That is one of the questions. Now, we know very well that the 2025 budgetary plan is automatically disrupted as a result of Melissa. Automatically disrupted. Jamaica economy is in a fragile state that it has never been in before. Country's not making no money. Is that the Prime Minister is looking on the catastrophe bond insurances to try and make a cash in on those insurances as it relates to might be utilize portion of that under the pretext to deal with relief aid. Just in terms of my curiosity. Now, this is it. For those people who will be cash out, converting the bonds into food, those shopkeepers, those community shops, those vouchers will be converted to cash. So then the question, really and truly, we know that the catastrophe bond is not supposed to use for that. The catastrophe bond is supposed to use for reconstruction of persons who have been affected. That is the purpose that the catastrophe bond ought to be used. So then tell me, is the Prime Minister planning on using the catastrophe bond, a portion of the insurance, to so-called claim that to sustain the relief program, he has to take money from there? Is what is on the Prime Minister's mind? The Prime Minister is going down to a slippery slope, Brother Rattigan. And I am calling for the Auditor General, calling for the Integrity Commission to begin looking on this issue. Your take on the matter, Brother Ratti.
Well, you have given me a lot to unpack. Well, let's just start with where there is no vision, the people perish. And that is exactly what we're seeing. We don't see any vision as to how we're going to pull ourselves out of this situation. Because as I said, donor countries cannot afford to provide Jamaica with supplies in perpetuity. There will come a point when it will stop. Now, you ask about the cash for the voucher system, where will it come from? And then you mentioned the catastrophe bond, and you said, well, your second description of it is the accurate one, where you say it ought to be used for certain purposes. The catastrophe bond, the one for $150 million that is facilitated through the World Bank, it doesn't come with any requirements. It's money that's just paid to the government because And remember, it's not based on that money is not based on economic loss. It's based on the intensity of the storm. So that money comes with no strings attached, no directions, no guidance. It's like, okay, you know, you suffered, we have to pay out because there was a category 5 and it went through all the grids, satisfied all the requirements. Here's the money. So there's no guidance for the Prime Minister as to how he will be able to use that money. So now it's incumbent upon us and the opposition to ensure that that money is not spent in an era where it's not going to benefit people who are suffering. Here's another point. When you say, well, where's the money coming from? Jamaica has a very good credit rating. You see where I'm going? And so there are avenues of financing available to Jamaica that are not available to a lot of countries simply because of the aggressive paying off of the debt. And every banker loves a customer who pays off the debt with handsome interest rates and on time. And the more you do...
Hold on, let me just ask a question. As it relates to the predicament that we are going through, would that be feasible to pursue a loan? Because that's what I'm getting from you.
He has no choice. He has to take a loan. If what the experts are saying is accurate, that Jamaica suffered losses to the tune of, let's say, the lowest figure that I've heard, $3 billion US. The catastrophe bond through the World Bank is only 150 million.
So that drop in the bucket.
And the other one, right, and the other one from the Caribbean, that's about $73 million. And then you have governments putting in $1 million here, $1 million there. It's a drop in the bucket. It cannot. When you talk about development, it's nowhere near what will be required for development. So people, watch the 3-card month, you know. We watch the cat bond, but we're not looking for the loans. And don't forget, during COVID, Jamaica received about $750 million US worth of loans. We haven't paid that back yet, and up to now, we don't have an accurate accounting of where that approximately $750 million US went. So while you're watching the cat bond, and we should, don't forget that they're going to take out loans. They must take out loans because, like I said, the donor agencies and donor countries, they're not going to come up with $3 billion to rebuild Jamaica. They're not. So, and not only that, why should they? Because they're going to say, well, look, you've been bragging, Mr. Prime Minister, about your BB rating, right? In terms of your credit ratings. You've been bragging about that. So use that. Use that and get the money and build your country. Now, let me just switch gears and go to OutPem. Again, people, this Prime Minister, him try some tricky things, but Jamaica's a different place now than it was in 2016. More people's eyes are open now to what's going on. Let me explain something to you. The JDF, by the way, let me back up. The Prime Minister is the Minister of Defense, in case some of you didn't know. And I trust that most, if not all of you, but you know, you may have some people who weren't aware of this. He's the Minister of Defense. The JDF answers to him directly, not through another ministry, directly. When he speaks to the military, he issues instructions. He's not asking for discussions. OutPem is a different situation. That's an agency. And so the culture is different. They're used to discussing the best possible alternatives to a particular disaster, and they go around the room and they and they may have some lively discussions, and then at the end they try to resolve it. With the military, it's different. The prime minister says, this is what you're going to do, and you do it. Guess who's in charge of ATPEM now? It's a military person. So when the prime minister says, I want you to do this, there will be no discussion. Because you know what? That's an instruction. That's a command. That's an order. He's not looking to engage the military people. He said, I want this to happen, and it's going to happen. I know that person is running ATPEM. Previously, ATPEM could argue with the prime minister and say, well, argue with any minister and say, I don't think this is a proper way to address the situation. We're getting in aid, and we need to deploy it there. We need to deploy it there. And the minister might say, no, I need it over here. And they might say, no. Our research, our data, our sources are telling us that it should go there. Guess what? All of that independence is now gone. When the prime minister says, I want it over there, that's exactly what is going to happen. So another thing is, if you notice, a lot of the aid coming to Jamaica is not necessarily cash, supplies. And you know why? Because people have realized, they've come to understand over the years that our prime minister has been implicated, let's say, in financial irregularities and conduct. He's been implicated. And as a result of that, I believe that some of them are saying, let's give supplies. Let's not give him cash. Because he has been involved in some questionable activities regarding cash, and we don't want to get involved where we're giving him money and we can't really track it. Because if you think about it, PIOJ is supposed to be the clearinghouse for all of this thing coming in, PIOJ, the Planning Institute of Jamaica, they are responsible for loans, for grants, for technical assistance, everything coming into Jamaica. PIOJ is the clearinghouse. Now we find out that PIOJ is not the clearinghouse now for disaster relief. It is the Prime Minister's office now. So, and I want to take credit for certain things, but I really, a part of me is saying no, don't take it. But I wish, I hope one day I'll find out that if it's true, because I wrote to the king, and I wrote to the Privy Council. They have over 100 members, and they're all advisors to the king. And I said to them, be very careful of this gentleman who's the Prime Minister of Jamaica. I want you to watch him carefully, because he's been implicated in a lot of financial arrangements. And there has been there's been a finding that he had up to 28 bank accounts over a period of time. I received responses from some of them. And so I would like to think that that's one of the reasons why the UK didn't give him a whole lot of money. They give him some services, then they give him some supplies. But they don't give him because they're looking at it and they're saying, well, wait a minute. Oh, and by the way, you know what I did? I sent the Integrity Commission's report to all of these people. And I said, if you don't believe me, read it for yourself. Read it. I'm just hoping that they will share it with their counterparts in Europe, in Canada, in the US, and elsewhere when it comes to the Prime Minister. Because think about it. Just think about it, people. Jamaica is on the brink of collapsing right now as a result of this. And if you listen to our conversation, and this conversation is typical of all the conversations I've heard, we are talking about whether or not the Prime Minister can be trusted. That shouldn't be part of the conversation. It should be, hey, we're going to take care of the people, and we're going to do this and we're going to do that. But it is a part of the conversation because we cannot trust him. And therefore, you find that This is now part of the calculus. How much can we trust him? How much money can we give to the government? And as a result, because I don't believe that we can trust him, and I don't believe we can trust the government, I have openly declared to people that if they're sending things to Jamaica, they should look for a reputable, certified charitable organization. Have them collect the stuff and distribute it, or you do it yourself with a community or with your family, but don't give it to the government. And in that vein, the One Jamaica Legal Defense Foundation is in the process of sending a 40-foot container to Jamaica. And we're asking for donation. And I can tell you that it is not going anywhere near the government. We are going to look for communities that have been ignored intentionally or negligently.
Yeah.
Because there are communities out there that have been affected and nobody's paying attention to them. And you know, Black River is going to get its fair share, Santa Cruz, Falmouth, and other places. But then you have some small places and nobody ever heard of them. Nobody's paying attention to them. Those are the people that we are going to take care of.
All right, Ratigan, let me ask you a question, Ratigan. Let me ask you a question. Under the Prime Minister administration, right, as it relates to from 2016 to now, the Prime Minister has never made a move, right, having to experience, you know, couple hurricane, Cat 1, Cat 2, some of which just nearly missed the island, but never have a problem with ADPEM. However, now 2024, he did not have a problem with ADPEM, right? But 2025, where we are getting so many donations, right? We have insurance money coming in. The Prime Minister have now some difficulty with ADPEM. Never have it before. Let me ask you something, Ratty. Do you believe that the Prime Minister playing chess in now having ADPEM under his responsibility? I'm just asking your honest opinion. Do you believe that that move is to avoid checks and balance and where he can manipulate the system? Your take on that?
Look, even if that's not the case, there is the appearance of that. Even if it's not the case, there's appearance of that. And one of the things that a leader must do is to avoid the appearance of impropriety. The appearance, you know, not even impropriety itself, but the appearance. You know, we're going to know when you're anything, we're going to cast you in a bad light. And this certainly is going to cast him in a bad light, because you laid out the case right now when they said, look, he didn't have any problems with that agency. He didn't have any problems with it before burial, didn't have any problems with it during burial, didn't have any problems with it after burial. And look what him have problems with it, you know. Not before Melissa, you know. After Melissa, him have a problem with it. Right after. And then him change up leadership. In midstream, him change up leadership and then move the agency from a state of independence to now come within his office and then say, because his office is the perfect place to coordinate across government. Oh, here's one more thing. Here's one more thing, Mystic. I went back and I did the research, and the Prime Minister has been talking about government efficiency from 2016.
Yes.
Just this year, he appointed former Ambassador Audrey Marks to be his Minister of Efficiency. Right? He's been talking about it since 2016. He just put somebody in there 2025. Now, one of the reasons he said that he had to move up the menu was because of efficiency and coordination That's her portfolio. The question I would like to ask him, did he consult with her and did she give him that advice? Because here's what happened. She could not have given him that advice because she just get the job.
Yes.
She just get the job. And when she get the job, what did she do? She run go Estonia. Says she had go up and study tour about e-government. Meanwhile, there's an e-government program offered by the UN. She could have stayed at her desk and do that program. She run go and who pay for that? Who pay for that? The same people we are suffer right now. Same people who them not give no water, not give no food, not give no shelter, they've not give prayers. And them people pay for that before this happened. So this is the whole idea of disaster preparedness and emergency management. It's a half-baked idea in Jamaica. It's a half-baked idea in Jamaica, and it's going nowhere fast, people. Nowhere fast.
All right. Thank you for that, Ratty. I want to move to Melting Pot, share to this question. Melting Pot. No, the Prime Minister did not have any problem with ADPEM, right, as it relates to 2016, right, through the year 2025, 2024, when we have buried. Right, we have cat 1, cat 2, whatever, near misses and whatever, right? And no benefits, right? Then as it relates to those years. Now 2025, we have, of course, Melissa, right? And now Melissa is now bringing in all donations from all over the world, right? In catastrophe bond being triggered, all parameters have been met. Now the Prime Minister have problem with ADPEM, right? Do you believe that the problem that Andrew Wallace have with ADPEM, that the fish head is coming in fast, and so then he has to get rid of checks and balance and manipulate the system? What is your take on it?
My take on it is that Andrew Wallace is concealing all information to himself. He don't want to share it with nobody else, or nobody have no idea of what him collect, from outside source, plus the catastrophic insurance bond, plus the CCRI funding, where him also get that 70 million. So there's a lot of money coming in under Andrew wings right now, and him alone I keep it warm. Nobody else don't know about it. But we know, say, that is the plain and simple reason why I'm getting rid of ADPEM. Because the Category 5 hurricane trigger the release of the insurance bond. Now, that 150 million, Andrew don't really want nobody and go on that, That must be in film control, wholly and solely. So why would him have ADPEM around him? Him not really need ADPEM now. ADPEM can't spend big money. Andrew alone know about big money in Jamaica, This vast amount of money is only Andrew privileged to it. A guy who is not a part of the private sector organization. Him not a company like Dennis and get his way him inherit. Like the Matalan them. Him not inherit nothing like that from the east of them or nothing. Him is a holiness. We just hear about this name in our society. So we don't know it to come with no wealth attached to it. Is that little guy from a ghetto? But him alone.
Melting Pot. Him the born with a gold spoon, but what Damian Crawford say, him not have to go thief it. As I can to Damian. Boy.
Exactly. Simple, because it give to him. Him no born with none, but him get gold spoon. And if you get Jamaican a gold spoon, you get him now have to go get it from nowhere else. people give to him. So him not have to thief none. You understand? But this guy, he manipulate every corner and crevice in Jamaica, you know. That's what Andrew do. Because I don't know Jamaica people so stupid. We make this money come now. Come have him hands on for everything. Not the worst time at Jamaica. You understand? Andrew, I laugh to the fact that Melissa trigger the release of the insurance fund, the catastrophic fund. Him laughing. And the fact that he's a guy who like to go out and beg, you know, for relief to come to the country. So him can have it at him disposal. Him no want nobody else round it. So as we Ratty said, yeah, I made know that too. So him in charge of the defense. Yeah. Him get a man now from JDF for now head the so-called Akpen. Yeah. That's why we used to call it Akpen, you know. Because we did switch way to go. No, rightfully, I command him, I command that man, you know, to send the thing them which part them to go. This is why we run here highlight it, but it a fall upon their face really and truly. But our word, have to just for the outside community, them know so them not send in nothing more right, you know. Hold off on it, please and thanks. This guy have so much at him disposal, and he make a statement say in the coming weeks, when it's when all the aids them depleted, yeah. Coming weeks, the aids depleted. Where Andrew have a month's of supply and get already. Matter about weeks. A several months supply and get because remember I know the entire island, you know.
So that can't deplete it in a week.
Cannot deplete it in nothing where Andrew wants to talk about. Just remember now, Kingston, St. Andrew, and St. Catherine are the largest populated amongst the parishes then. Yeah? So when you look on him, though it's spread out and over Trelawney, Westmoreland, St. Elizabeth, I don't know, vast volume of people him deal with. The aid will come in more than sufficient. More than sufficient because the people them know say it's a long-term thing. That's why it's it come in. So me I tell the donor them say, yeah, just make a donation into a pledge at the moment, but hold on pan it. Please and thanks. Don't send in not more come to this criminal government right now. What this criminal government orchestrate is a system where him control and him manipulate people by being in charge of the system. So him no want nobody for, you know, nudge him in no way, shape, or form and say nothing to him. So him get rid of Adpen, and the international community must take a look at this situation. Why would you want to get rid of the agency who have the expertise, knowledge, and people in place already to deal with a catastrophic affair like Melissa? Why you get rid of them at this point in time and secretly form a system where you input in place? Yeah? You see how the man phase out Adpen and phase in who and him for phase in. And that we knows him do that, you know. And that we knows. So we have to call it out now and make the international community them know we are going to Jamaica. We not give him too much right now. Him get couple of 100 generator. Him laughing all the way to the bank. Him claims them for himself. Him all do what he want to do with them. Him get how many supply of food and medical. It good for him. I use it now as a credit basket for him party. When we know a people with kind heart and Jamaica in a them thought I donate these things. But this guy instead I'm staying in office, yeah, and collect report from the field officer them out there and then make recommendation. Him a run the relief program and him a run several more programs. Me not think one man supposed to carry so much burden on him head where official is there already. So we had call upon the bureaucrats them in a Jamaica. Yeah? When you don't sit down and make Andrew twist and turn on, you know, and turn on a baboon, you know. Start talk the things we don't need to talk. We not too silent and see where up to happen. Happen kicked to the curb by the nasty prime minister in our country. Kicked to the curb. But I can say Akpen know that they had, you know, unsavory moment with this guy. Yeah, because anytime you see Andrew attack anywhere, you know, I because him now get the leverage where him forget. People them now stoop down to him criminality and him corruption. Them push back on him. So we know him is a thin skin guy. When you push back on him attack you. Him attack you with a word called victimization and turn on our entity into a victim, a victim system which is corruption. You understand? So we have to make sure no people that the Jamaican population are tasked to work for them, yeah, in civil society capacity. Please do not let this garbage prime minister infiltrate the work on I do, yeah, on a moral. When him attack, come out back and attack him. Using a voice, social media will broadcast that and repeat it several times. Make it reverberate around the world. We cannot have a guy that have so much controversy surround him from 1997 till now. And we still have this guy hold the country at ransom.
Exactly.
This guy mash up the country to the extent where the country now crumble under the weight of corruption where Andrew Wallace unleashed on it. Andrew have the backside man, them mine out the place, you know, and now refill them. So you see when all them water that fall from barrel, them going just like a pool and saturate and soak to the whole place. No wonder we have so much broke wet. No wonder we see water spring up from under the ground and cover the people's house. This is how Andrew Wallace do by providing the backside, merchandise them with no levy attached to it. And him get a contract for that. Nepotism and cronyism at its highest order. This is how this guy operate. Cause remember, you know, him and a prime minister for me, you know. Cause me always tell him I'm on a prime minister material and him don't surplus to no requirement. And right now, Jamaica see it themselves. Them a see and hear where melting pot is a reality. This guy now have no interest at all. That's why I'm stingy. Even the gift them, the man want pinch it, want chop it, want splinter it, want do all type of thing with it. Cause I don't know if him alone can consume so much thing. So him have him cronies them where him a share it up with the private sector them cause the whole of them are criminal. Them want up at the generator them to sell back. Cause remember them donate to him, you know. So food come in, you have to run some per way. You have to run some of my food per way. And this a go on. While the people who need it now get it. Unless you're in a them pocket. Like where them have interest in them area there. Them special constituency there. If you ever come from over there, say you're dead till you're hungry. Me I tell you no. The man ought make sure no run out all water. A guy named Nasty Tough Tongue fly in when carrying coal patty, apple and a small bottle of water and use state reserves. Fly in with taxpayers' money and carry one apple, one coal patty and a small bottle of water. Them three commodities they can't bust gas. They cannot bust gas. So you know, eat that you even worse than before you eat. Can't remember, you know, the party come down the coal like puppy nose, you know. Coal. Coal. Apply something coal. And the water. My God. So you want to tell me how them guys who no secure? Eh? Them guys have nothing them caring of them. All them guys know about that thing named share. Share the loot. Share the loot. Nothing to do with care. So all my Jamaican them, you know, we lost them, you know. And I endorse them criminally, you know. We have our next guest coming. Because remember, this is just the tip of the iceberg. Tip of the iceberg. And the back of this will be an epidemic. Mark my word. Sad to say. Because all the standing water when we see still exists 14 days after the storm, after the hurricane pass. I mean, know where to do. It a germinate itself and breed mosquitoes. Yeah, them era when now where grass grow and water still in the mosquito breeding ground. Remember, somebody still there on the ground when I collect yet. Dead animals are still there. The cleaning up operation don't start. But we're gone 2 weeks. So only thing that happen must be an epidemic of some sort. And I sure know people who are still without a roof and are exposed to this type of element. Them are going to catch it. Them are going to catch it. Because imagine you are asleep out a door, mosquito bite you. You must get dengue. You smell the stench, cholera. You understand? So Andrew Wallace and the administration of our next guest coming. Think wisely. I use the terms, you know, last week, you know. Andrew coming like a guy when parents send him out to go shop and him stop and gamble money. Him a gamble on the life, my people in Jamaica. A gamble this guy, a gamble on the life. Stop, let Andrew and them minions them gamble on the life. Andrew and nobody for no bow down and worship. This is why Andrew cannot get no physical cash. Him get a lot of donation. But the amount of cash would have come in to rebuild back Jamaica, him not get it. So when him say, rotted, I can't make the people them say well in the country mash up and me can't fix it back, you know. So you know me I go do? You see them here where me I get for them? They are turning a voucher thing and make sure no say 3/4 of this money I come to the government. You see all that insurance banner, Appen can know it spend. Because we have to use it to do some work. But yet still, him talk how the country brilliant. How the country in a good financial health. Yeah, and him boast. You understand? And see that him tell all international journalists say within less than 2 weeks, him have the country up and running, you know. But I know the man will go for some of the dead body with it. The man not get rid of the animal them, will lose them life. You understand? So Andrew Wallace is not doing anything to enhance the people in life in Jamaica. Andrew is doing something to further enhance his wealth. And we have to stop this guy. This guy reign too long. And his reign must come to an end. I yield back the floor, my brother.
All right. Okay, thank you for that, Melting Pot. Let us go into the juggling, unmeasurable greed and control. Yes, Ratty.
Let me just make one quick point, if I may.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, Larkland put in a comment. Lady Ann put it up, and it's a very, very significant point, and it speaks to procurement. And let me just unabashedly make a plug for tomorrow night. Come reason with Ratigan, and Saturday reason with Ratigan, because this is how the money I go disappear. This is how it all disappear. Because people, you need to understand what the procurement rules are in Jamaica. And that's why we've been using the Tufton Market Me, that whole investigation, to show you how the government can use certain mechanisms, to their advantage. Government members, how they can use it to their advantage. And that's why we're using that particular case, because that particular case talks about certain aspects of procurement where contracts were issued to somebody who is a friend of a minister. And we believe that this procedure is going to loom very, very large in the development of Jamaica, because guess what happened? There is a procurement process where you can issue emergency contracts. We have an emergency in Jamaica. It meets all the requirements. And now the government can give whoever they want a contract. And there is very little oversight on these contracts. Then they have the direct contract, which is another way where they can just give a person a contract based on certain requirements. And so people watch. These things are going to happen. Bound and compound for happen. This, you know, we are talking about the money are going to go. But what we are trying to do is show now how the money are going to go. Yeah. This is one of the ways. And there are many more ways. Thank you for the time, sir.
Thank you very much for that, Ratty. Let us get into a few more clips here in terms of trying to understand, right, certain move that the Prime Minister is making. And, you know, you don't have any checks and balance. Now, find this clip. Bad move, power grabber. Let us hear what, you know, as it relates to this clip. Bad move, power grabber. The Prime Minister has no sympathy for the Jamaican people, right? But his administration is now set on edge, sharpening, right? Sharpening themselves now to make more money.
Bad move, power grabber. That's it.
Yeah.
Jamaica, listen up. Every time disaster strikes, we depend on ODPEM, the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management, to coordinate relief fairly and efficiently. But now word is that Prime Minister Andrew Holness wants full control of ODPEM and the millions of dollars in disaster funding that flow through it. That's not just concerning, that's dangerous. Let's get something straight. ODPEM was created to be independent. Its role is to respond to national emergencies without political interference, to save lives, not score political points. But with ODPEM now reassigned under the Office of the Prime Minister, questions are being raised about whether disaster management is being turned into political management. Former ODPEM head Dr. Barbara Carby isn't staying silent. She's calling this move exactly what it is, a slippery slope. She's outraged, warning that placing ODPEM under direct political control undermines its independence and could lead to disaster responses being dictated by power, not by protocol. And here's the real issue. With ODPEM under the Prime Minister's office, Andrew Holness would have direct influence over how disaster funds and donations are distributed. That means he could control not only the operations, but also the money. The same donations sent by Jamaicans at home and abroad to help victims in times of crisis. That level of control invites suspicion and destroys trust. Dr. Carby has been warning about this for years. Back in 2016, she told the Gleaner that ODPEM was being sidelined by politicians during hurricane preparations. She said politicians were trying to outshine the agency instead of empowering it to lead. Now in 2022, the Prime Minister has officially pulled ODPEM into his office, proving her fears were right. This move raises tough questions. Who will decide where relief goes first? Who will monitor how donations are used? And who will make sure aid isn't being distributed for political optics instead of public good? Disaster management must be driven by data, not by votes. The truth is, This is about control. Controlling the money, controlling the message, controlling the headlines, and if we're not careful, controlling the very agencies meant to protect us. And now even the private sector is speaking out because they've had enough. They're watching how disaster management is being politicized, and they don't like what they see. The frustration is building across Jamaica, from business leaders to church members to everyday citizens. Everyone's saying the same thing: enough is enough. Andrew Holness told the country to choose Jamaica, but it's clear he's not choosing the people. He's choosing his pocket. You can't preach patriotism while keeping control of every dollar meant for disaster relief. ODPM belongs to the people, not to any politician or party. When a hurricane hits, it doesn't ask which party you support. It destroys everything in its path. Disaster response should be guided by experts, not by political convenience. So, Prime Minister, the people are watching, the diaspora is watching, donors are watching, because once disaster funding and management become tools of political control, the people will lose faith and Jamaica will pay the price. ODPEM's independence must be protected, not absorbed. All right, family, let's talk about it. Do you think putting ODPEM under the Prime Minister's office makes sense? Or is this just another power grab? Leave your comments below. Share this video to spread awareness, and make sure you subscribe for more hard-hitting commentary. I'm Mishi.
Now, Jamaica, listen to me. I honestly believe that we have been hit by a category 10 that is not on the Richter scale. Hurricane Melissa, as it relates to category 5, but most of all, Andrew Holness' reckless behavior. I fully concluded that the Prime Minister is 100% a dictator. Let me prove it. The Prime Minister had made a move in terms of putting the EOJ under his responsibility in his office, the Electoral Commission of Jamaica. So the Prime Minister wanted to stay in power, continue to manipulate the EOJ, which he had done and awarded Glasspool Brown. Now what the Prime Minister had done also is to take control of PAC and the PAAC from the opposition in 2020. What the Prime Minister is showing Jamaica that he doesn't want no form of opposition checks and balance. The Prime Minister said it, you know. It is no joke. The Prime Minister is showing Jamaica and showing the world that definitely he is a dictator. And the Jamaica Labour Party say it. They are saying it on their campaign. They are saying that Andrew Holness is Prime Minister here, now, and in the future. They are saying 1 p.m., only one Prime Minister. These are the signs and indications of Andrew Holness telling Jamaica that he has Jamaica under his control. Now, to show you that the move that Andrew Holness made in terms of putting ODPM under his control is to wipe out checks and balance. Wipe out checks and balance. I'm going to prove it. Why I am 100% sure that it is to wipe out checks and balance? It is the same thing he had done with the PAC and the PAAC. To do what? Wipe out checks and balance. It is clear, Jamaica. Clear, clear. Now, let us look on this document to show you what we are talking about. Andrew Holness is dangerous, and Dean Jackson Miller had now seen it. It is so clear to Dean Jackson Miller. Now, look at this, people. The government opposition spar over PAC meeting. The Opposition People's National Party, PNP members of the Public Accounts Committee are calling yesterday's shutdown of a meeting with officials of Petrojam, the Petroleum Corporation of Jamaica, and the Office of the Prime Minister a dark day in the country's history. But their government counterparts say the meeting was illegal and a breach of the standing orders. The committee was over an hour and a half into its deliberations on the damning Auditor General report on Petrojam and PCJ when Chairman Mark Golden paused the proceedings to read a memorandum handed to him by the clerk to the houses, which read, due to the fact that there was no majority decision of the committee to convene a meeting of the PAC, I have been instructed by Minister Karl Samuda, leader of the government business in the House of Representatives, to withdraw the services of the staff of the Houses of Parliament from these proceedings with immediate effect. But Golden and other committee members dismissed the memo, arguing that Samuda had no such authority and that this instruction would have to come from the House Speaker. The proceedings ended abruptly minutes later as members realized that the Hansard recorders and other staff were absent from the chamber. This is the kind of anti-democratic undermining of the oversight function of an important parliamentary committee that is a danger to democracy in this country. People, warning. Jamaican people need to stand up against this government. Golden said, it is disrespectful to the Permanent Secretary and her staff who are here. It is disrespectful to the Auditor General and her staff, and it is disrespectful to the members of the committee who have made it their business to come and want to continue with the work before us. They have effectively undermined the ability of the committee to continue its proceedings today. Right? Both sides yesterday convened press conference after the board meeting. Golden explained to journalists that the given intense public interest in the Petrojam report and the depth of the irregularities uncovered in the people, the depth of the irregularities uncovered, he felt it was urgent for the committee to begin its review, according to the PSA chairman. And guess what? This is the reason, take that away, while Andrew Holness take away the PAC and the PAAC, you understand, from the opposition, because the Prime Minister simply doesn't want any checks and balance. People, you need to see what it is and wake up. When people are asking us that we are on social media, only talking, and we are not doing anything, you wonder what the people, right, as it relates to countries. Even recently, you have countries where the people march against the government and where that government has to bow because the people have the power in their hand, and the people are asking social media vlogger that every day when you come, when you talk, you people not doing anything, and guess what? They are the ones that have the power. But what you want social media vlogger for? Now look at this in terms of what being communicated here. What do you want social media vloggers to do? Tell me. Eh? You want me on Rattigan, melting pot, right? And lonesome. You understand? Go along the no one oppose the government. And when our backside get arrested, who bail me? Who no bail me? Now when the people come together, realize what the government is doing, and do the right thing, the government has to bow. If all the people come together and decided, say, look, we are going to unite, PSOJ of the bow, PSOJ is going to come under pressure, and the PSOJ is going to put the government under pressure because the people are united. Me not have to come out come say. Do I have to make it that clear? The people have to unite because it is going to get worse and worse and worse. And unless the people make the change, no social media blogger can make the change. We only can talk it and show you. The people have to make the change. When the people come together for a cause, for one common cause, and the people stand and say, we can't have a leader for our government that don't want to sign the code of conduct. We can't have the leader of our government. Your statutory declaration cannot be certified. We can't have a leader of government that is currently under investigation and his wife is the Speaker of the House. Why we sit and take all the shit in our face and Andrew, let's not stop shit because we are continuing to take the shit. So all they need to do is to shit more and shit more and shit more and shit more and continue to shit. Pure madness. Now listen to what Dan Jackson is asking, which is fundamental. But people don't get it yet. People are asking social media vlogger, what are they going to do? They come and they talk, and nothing. Madness. Look at this. Listen to this.
Billions of dollars are going to be coming in terms of relief. Why have we not yet heard the announcement of an independent oversight committee to include, for instance, private sector, civil society, and opposition members to monitor the expenditure that is going to be done along with regular reporting to Parliament? What we don't want is an Auditor General's report 6 months after the fact. Second, I've been hearing everything that's been said. However, the national response, the immediate national response, has been slow and inadequate. The government has been acting as if it didn't know the kind of damage that a Cat 5 would have done. Why have we not seen immediate deployment?
Now, stop it. Take it away. Now let me ask Jamaica. Let me ask Jamaica this. And panel, let me ask you. Let me ask you a question. If this government want transparency, want checks and balance, and if this government has any integrity, as it relates to Dan Jackson question, why we don't have an oversight committee set up for checks and balance as it relates to all aid that is coming in, insurance, bonds. Why Andrew Holness is not being transparent in all these issues? You know why, Jamaica? Because we allow him to do it. You know why, Jamaica? We continue to listen to the big mama and the George Davis, who continue to support the Prime Minister in I'm wrongdoing. Big mama who owed the government revenue of $1.5 billion in taxes, being allowed to continue. to support a government that they know is corrupted. So, Ratty, let me begin with you. What would be some of the reasons why the government is not seeking to have an oversight committee in spite of what is happening in terms of many aids coming in, insurance monies? Why the government seems to want to do everything to avoid transparency and checks and balance? What are some of the things that you think about why the government is staying away from having this oversight body? They are talking about it even today in Parliament. They are going to. They have not done it yet. And all you hear the government is saying that they are going to, but they have not done it. Tell us some of the reasons that you think, Ratty, as to why you think that the government is avoiding checks and balance.
Well, this is just the latest episode. This is not the first time we have seen where there has been a deliberate attempt, along with the intent, deliberate attempt and intent to ensure that there is no oversight of what the government is doing. And you can go all the way back to 2016 with the first scandal, the police used car scandal, come all the way up to now. So this is just the latest in a series of attempts to make sure that nobody's looking over their shoulders. What they've had a very long history of doing is doing what they want to do and then have the Integrity Commission or the Auditor General or some administrative or investigative body come later on, 3-4 years later on, and say, oh, they did this. Them can't deal with that because they know that Jamaicans, by and large, they're more concerned about putting food on the table. And so a story like this, it will only run for a couple of days and then that's the end of that. Getting to the heart of the question, why is it then that they have been doing this from ever since? It's not just now, it's ever since, because them just have a magnetic attraction to money, you know. When them see money, it's like them go crazy. Them have to just involve in it, and them not realize that. And this is very troubling now, because you know why? Here's why it's troubling. When them take 1.4 billion and buy a school bus, them pay almost $200 for a drill and things like that. People kind of look on it because people don't really feel it. You know, they don't really feel it, and so it's kind of distant from them. This, Melissa, is not distant from them. Melissa is not distant from the people. The people have been greatly affected, directly and indirectly. And so if them take a dime out of this, whoever you serve as a God, believe me, Him not gonna have no mercy upon them. I don't think He's gonna have no mercy upon them. It's one thing when you take it and people don't feel it, but when you say people are suffer and you take it, and let me just go back and just say that regarding the market me thing that we started and we're going to do it tomorrow, we're going to do it Saturday. Let me just make it clear that we have no evidence that Minister Tufton benefited directly. We have no evidence that he benefited directly from the contracts issued to his friend by his ministry. But what we do have is the Integrity Commission saying that using the ordinary person standard, the ordinary man standard, they said that it's reasonable to conclude that he indirectly influenced those contracts to his friend. And that's language coming straight out of the report. And that is what we're going to be focused on. We're going to be focused on how politicians can say certain things. And in fact, you know what, Matt Mystic, you know what him say? Him say, listen, I have a certain concept of how, this physical activity thing should be conducted. And when I speak, my staff, they're going to make sure that they kind of carry out my mandates. I'm just paraphrasing what he said. And then him turn around and say, but I didn't influence the contract. And I said, but if you say anything, you say the people are gonna listen to you. And so what we supposed to extract from all of them things the way I say. But again, people, that's tomorrow and that's Saturday. The long and short of it is that the governing party, the ruling party, they just have a penchant for being involved in these kind of affairs where money is at the heart of it. And I'm telling you, Mystic, don't expect them to stop. What I expect them to do, though, is to come up with more ingenious ways of pilfering, because they know that we're watching them. And for the people who would say, well, we're not doing anything, hell, we're educating you. Because a lot of you heretofore, you didn't know these things were going on. You didn't even know the extent of these things going on. And so education is key before you can take action. You can't really take action and you don't know why you take the action. We don't want them kind of situation. We want people to go there and we want people who can articulate the position intelligently so that they will be able to convince others as well. And like you said, they might look for me and you and others for go down there and that now really we need a groundswell support from the people who are being affected for them to stand up and say, yes, enough of this, we're tired. And so this week people coming from Jamaica asked me to organize a protest. Last week and this week, they might call me and ask me. And then something I said to me, but on the day down now so far, we don't need a Ratigan or a Mystic for come and organize this phone. We can organize this phone yourself. We don't have the wherewithal, we don't have the knowledge that we can go out and do it. But like I said, if I can get one believer, if I can have a conversion of one person every week, I consider that a success, because my hope is that one person can go out and talk to others, and the conversion can increase. So you start with one, and then you move on, because the journey of 1,000 miles starts with the first step.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. Melting pot, right? Same goes for you as it relates to, right? As we speak, right? Andrew Wellness administration don't have, right, an oversight committee, right? Based on the fact that they are processing so many donations coming in, right? Insurance, catastrophe bond, right, being triggered and all of that. But yet, as we speak, they are promising, even in Parliament today, that yes, they are talking about oversight committee and so forth, and the opposition will be on it. The fact of the matter, it has not been done. You talk and said, yes, you are going to, right? Gone over 14 days. It has not been done. When is it that you are going to have the integrity and an oversight committee to ensure that all the catastrophe bond insurance being triggered, being monitored, and be accounted for? What are they waiting on? The very same excuse as it relates to logistic problem. You understand? Not to gain access to many who are suffering. The very same excuse across the board. No oversight committee as it relates to a joint committee, including the opposition, private sector, right, and other relevant authorities. No oversight. Talk to us, Melting Pot, as it relates to your take on the matter.
One word to describe all of that is dictatorship at its highest order.
All right.
And I mean, Jamaica must seen it coming long time, because we saw it and we highlight it. So, sometimes when people, call in or text in a message and say, what are we guys doing? We are doing a brilliant job the last 5 years. And I mean, our job is to educate and enlighten people on subject matter. It's for the people to act in accordance, We're not sending anyone out there to destroy or demolish anything. Just use the people power and move people where you know consistently fail and corrupted. No, as I said, dictatorship is at its highest order right now under this administration. Because the sign were there, as I said, when Andrew start keep up all of the agency and them umbrella, yeah, move them into the Prime Minister office. That should have never allowed to manifest. You understand? People should have reject that. Because no one man can, oversee so much agency. And when you say a one man are move in that direction, him have an aim and an objective. And it's not good. Yeah, it's a bad aim and objective him have. Where my process. And Andrew allowed to carry it out and achieve where we want to achieve. And now we see the result of it. The ramification of it is that Andrew is running everything. Now, when you look at how you see him strip certain portfolio from the opposition party, this guy moved by the Parliament Account Committee, you know. He moved by the Parliament Auditing Account Committee as well. And you ask the question why. Him no want to audit in, plain and simple. No checks and balance. No account must be done by him and him administration. And so all of them realize everything what Andrew do it at work. So when you hear Dead Man Mackenzie them come and say them now hand over the country to the PMP, when you hear some guy like Montague and them guy there say I'm gonna be Prime Minister for 5, 10, 15, 20, this, that, too much years I got go on. As something where them sit down around them table, keep them conference, and them know how him administrate every sector of the country. We are going to give him that authority to rule as a dictator without being the dictator where you look for. Yeah, him not going to dress up in a military suit, you know. He might dress like a diplomat, same way. Yeah? But him is a dictator. Because nobody can overrule anything what Andrew do. And if you move towards Andrew, he mash you down. Any agency will not support him corruption, him destroy the agency them. And we know that. Yeah? So when we are called for the people them now in Jamaica for this, we wake up and smell the coffee we are brew for the past decade. Wake up and smell it now. How much longer we have allow a guy when you come from the background of any reputable, source. Just a guy was supposed to have love for the people, you know. Him not come from no rich background, you know. So him should have for the poor. But him come and be against the poor. To the extent where the poor now I feel it. I feel it. Andrew did tell you now. We're not gonna feel it. Him talk things, you know, and people take it for joke, you know. But him serious. Him serious is what him say. You hear them come with slogan, one Prime Minister and all them things there, 1 PM. Yeah, you know where them are go with it. You see him have a media house where them run it. But the media house delinquent to the tune of $1.5 billion. Plus the media house get 10 write-off previously. Now we see where the media house, the said media house is allowed to merge with a washer guy. We come up with that thing called what? Reaver. You understand? And we know a lot of corruption. Because Reaver can merge with Big Mama entity, you know. With Big Mama entity delinquent in a tax. We know some of Big Mama alone. Several corporate business, them in a tax arrears. Why? Because them linked to Andrew. So we are asked the TAJ in a Jamaica now. What not do about all these things? Because una help carry down Jamaica, you know. Una allow Andrew Willis and them guy them, yeah, to escape the tax penalty in the country. The whole of civil society law and of the country a trample upon. Yeah, because them sit down and allow this guy to implement all type of scheme around them. Yeah, and I when it knock down them door and them window. Yeah, and them expose. You see them come out I say one and two little thing. We as a prime minister no bigger than the country. No prime minister no bigger than no country in the world. Yeah, because it's just a one individual, want to give him a task, yeah, as the chief civil servant to administrate the government of the day. The people power is always greater than the politician power. And me I say to my Jamaican people, this guy have to move. I don't know if we wait for no general election to move this piece of germs out of the society. This guy destroy everybody profession. Qualified professional leave Jamaica because of this said guy and how him around the country. Him draw some criminal around him. Some criminal him draw around him, Had some top position in the country. And them are here and bet Andrew Holness. In this where you see him going with. Andrew cannot orchestrate the movie where him make alone. Andrew knows him surrounded by the cliques. And we're not talking about the private sector. We are talking about some civil servant who serve the society in Jamaica. Civil servant like the commissioner of police. Them are here and met this guy young. You understand? Yeah, and many more. You understand? And so Andrew now have the thing at his disposal where he can just use it anyhow. Him run the country anyhow, Him don't run the country. Which country don't run by checks and balance? Which country? Well, I can only think about 2 or 3. I can think about Afghanistan. I can think about Jamaica. And I can think about down in Syria. Yeah, because in Gaza, I run with checks and balance, I still the war strike Gaza. And that war is not a decade. So I talk about the place where I do a decade, Jamaica rank in other category there. You understand? Yeah, I think even 80 run better than Jamaica. That's why I don't drop it to the category there. Yeah. So what we are looking for now is a guy who must be reigning. He must be reigning. The people have the power for reigning this guy. Yeah. And anyone and boys them when put round him as them inchman them like Google too. And who are run up a JDF feel like them can defend him. Make sure no international community are coming, come stand up for the people them in Jamaica. Because them are hear the cry. So we have a dictator. And them are see and realize now say yes, Jamaica run by a dictator. So we feel them how do. Them now allow him to destroy Jamaica. Me I tell the people them that. Yeah. So me know him having no scare down there now. Cause I'm afraid I'm soldier them police them car him put them out there in a certain capacity, To show a little stinge where him can go with. But me I telling my people, if him escalate that, him cannot take the tomahawk from US. Him can't take where I come from UK. Him can't take the mitre where I come from Canada either. So this guy not supposed to administrate the way I administrate for this length of period of time. When we even look on the opposition as a non-existing party. Move all portfolio from them. Have them wife sit down at the speaker of the House seat and disrespect everybody in a parliament where them not like. You understand? Even disrespect all for them want to. Because when we eat the dan, Mr. The now finance minister was made to look ordinary by the garbage speaker of the House. Because she has shit. She and her husband are 2 biggest criminals in the country. And everybody need to know that. You understand? When them amass in a short space of time, Not even the man who run Matalan construction firm. Now accumulate the wealth where Andrew and Juliet accumulate over the 10-year period. Them reap havoc, them going to politics specifically to carry out this behavior. And something where them going to go adapt, you know. Them plan it before Andrew know what I do. When Andrew they run Seaga, him see everything and him learn the blueprint. And him say, yes, me I come in politics. Because I want to carry out this. Me not, him alone did have the blueprint. Him alone. That's why Seaga endorsed him. That's why Bruce did have to recommend him, because Bruce know about the blueprint we have. So when Bruce recommend him, yeah, I know him should get the recommendation. Experience and qualification, you know, wouldn't give him that. A man a yard, but man a yard a criminal too. Man a yard a criminal too. Because man a yard did involve in the Central National thing there, you know. Yeah. Yeah, man. Eagle Merchant Bank and all. All of them involved in this. So. But Andrew have the blueprint. So Bruce did have to recommend Andrew as the man for run the thing. Yeah. That's something where put on paper from Seaga time. Because a long time we are here about Andrew. Before me burst out on the scene, we are here about this young youth. You understand? And we are say young youth. Kind of award this young youth. When we see the young youth, me I tell you say, it marvel me. Because me I saw him fly past them man away in the party so long. But now we are know. Seaga know say Andrew. Yeah. I did dead stamp at him. And I saw him want Jamaica for run. Seaga never trust Jamaica and nobody else hands, you know. Once Andrew have the country will always remain at the hands of the capitalists. It will never relinquish until the country mash up and them decide to walk away from Jamaica. And I guess let me say Jamaica there right now. Right, that's right there. So what we are looking for now is a culture we are come back from in the 70s. Yeah. From when the CIA started to oppose democratic socialism. From when you see them give Edward Seaga everything we want, yeah, to manipulate the People's National Party. You understand? And that not change, you know. Because I'm telling you, say from them time, the gun come at Jamaica. We don't rid ourselves of that until now. I remember a peaceful society will always become afraid and traumatized when you hear gunshot and when you see gun and when you know say it in the hands of who have it. Now we make sure though you merge all bad man with police. People don't know them and different. You can't tell who's who now in Jamaica. Yeah, so everybody fear them life. But how you are going to escape the wrath of a dictator? You can't be afraid. You have to take him on. You have to challenge him. You have to expose him. You have to highlight him. You have to push him back. So the work what we are doing around here is to highlight him, expose him, and uno to push him back now. What more do you want? Uno can't sit down and take no more battering from this guy, you know. This guy and his wife have so much job description, it's unbelievable. They are not just only politicians, they are businessmen and women. Yeah. And they have all type of business. Yeah. Like real estate development, construction firm, trucking, cyber company, taxi, all type of thing. Them have won't have out there. Won't have. So when we round here, I share the space with you know, and I highlight and educate and teach you know. What do you do? You have to act on it. Act on it. Because they put on act, you know. God help you, you know. Me I tell you no. Because this guy now have no interest at heart. Him telling you to choose Jamaica. Yeah. I want to run out. I want to say choose Jamaica everywhere I want to go. Where is the Jamaica now I want to choose? Because if me live somewhere, I don't want to see my neighbor so far, me I live all right, you know. So all who then are them little warm comfort home and have food and water and can go in at them bed and tuck in. Yeah. You can't tell me say you choose Jamaica, you know. Because if you choose Jamaica, you have to choose everywhere in Jamaica, everybody where in Jamaica. So you say you lose your identity. You lose it, you know. So me I say to the labor rights them, call out to the Nazi Prime Minister. Make him know say everybody at Jamaican and everywhere at Jamaica. Instead of one of that, a yap and a go on like say, well, let us see Christmas come and Father Jesus come with everything for no. And not him go no nothing. This is why we can't choose Jamaica. If it was Andrew Wallace and the Labour Party alone, I'll know. Nothing reach people them. Kind of have nothing. And Andrew, the love enough for going in my account them where him have. Juliet no love enough for going in her account where she have either. And none of the rest of them will keep the money. No love enough for going in them account. You know, so them no want to add it in done from Petrojam. Why? Why? I forgot about Andrew Wheatley and Danville Scrappy Walker. You remember how much barrel oil them the thief. You know so much of them have gas station. You know so much Labour Party member them have gas station. You don't know about some gas station where you know, sitting another man. Eh? After them fictitious name gas station where you see rise up out the place. It belongs to them. When me there Jamaica grow all me know about a Shell, Texaco, Esso. Yeah? Miss one come on on the scene named Unipet. Well, me know it exists outside of Jamaica. The rest them belongs to them. The rest them belongs to them. And remember, you know, a taxpayers gas demand them thief, you know. A taxpayers gas. Cause remember when it go there, you know, and that gap left in a Petrojam, it have to be filled. Taxpayers have to take up the slack. How much taxpayers benefit from that? How many? Yet still a guy get wealthy and see them have a little controversy and then you see Andrew take time draw them back in a politics. You see Andrew Wheatley run with here. Man like that supposed to run in a politics. Him couldn't do no else in the world and come back in a politics. That Ripple couldn't come back in a politics either. George Rang couldn't come back, come run either after what him do to the woman. Where murder the woman with a stool. Proper beat down all over social media. Yeah. And many more. Darrell Vaz. Andrew Wallace with 28 bank account and unexplained wealth. Couldn't run back. Juliet couldn't run back either. Because the simple fact of the matter, she and the Prime Minister account as one. She and the Prime Minister account as one. Because if you had 28 and 13, you get 41. You hear that? So we know the business go. So when you look, it's a garbage. It's a garbage. It's a garbage party. Tough tongue, how me left him out. 85 million gone. And him come with a little hanky-panky thing. Him sanction that and him benefit. Him might end up benefit financially, you know. Because that was a punani deal. That come with a sweet piece of meat. That's all him benefit. Him feel, you know, emboldened to take 85 million of Jamaica taxpayers money pay for that. Pay for a Whop Up and Burger King. Or McDonald's. Yeah. Lindsay McDonald's. So them are run McDonald's. You understand? So, you know, tough tongue. burger Whopper from McDonald's are the dearest in the entire world. 85 million it costs to feed Whopper. So when you look on a government like this now, how you expect Jamaica to stand up? The man them live on the back of the diaspora and the remittance for too long. That's why I say, when we highlight the thing, people can't act, If we are telling us, say, him not have to work, I get X amount from you, cut back. Put on phone one sanction. Or if you don't want to call it tariff, I don't know what I want terms it as, but put on something on him. Him need to start feel the pressure come from left, right, and center. Him too comfortable around a country. A country, the third world country, where him sit down and turn himself in a super billionaire. Where them are the highest paid politician per average anywhere in the world. The size of Jamaica and the economy and the population. For them salary bigger than US, bigger than UK member of parliament. Because you have to use average to determine them wage package. Them not working either. Them head all carry come people them in a wage, Right now, Andrew, cabinet, yeah, the amount where it costs Jamaica are the biggest on record. The largest salary package within cabinet. Because some people went drop and told them in a minister, them don't even ready yet. But Andrew, you know what I do? I reward people. You know so much people reward. This guy, Tadpole Green, from EOJ office, him get reward, Can bring the EOJ officer and them umbrella and them sit down at the time and rob the election. Him award him. You have a woman in Florida who cook some food. She get a award too. Just with a dinner banquet where she sells some ticket for him. She get a award. The man take a country and make a mock right. All because of corruption. In order to keep your cliques, whether you move some or you recruit some, you have to reward them. So look, everybody around Andrew get award, but yet still the country not growing, not moving, yeah. But you see award I go from left, right, and center. Now the man of all a guy when bring down there, yeah, where him help mash up the country. This piece of shit from over India. Because remember, it's when him can't go itch him up round Big Mama. No, him I use the technology side. That's why you see so much AI come out from out of Big Mama them a trick. Because this is how them are doing and mash up the country. You have to look at every nook and cranny corner where you see the corruption there. Where this guy a broke pocket guy coming out with space for the way we look upon him thing now, we see him turn super billionaire too. We see it. But him come and never have no money. Him turn all ambassador. People no wake up and see the corruption what we are talking about. We can't break it down better than we are break it down to you guys. We are distributed from all the various points where it exists. Yeah. So we know, yeah, when we project, we want to act. Act using the knowledge where we are going now. No one say we don't have a real prime minister, we don't have a criminal. We don't have a guy where we make sure no say we not dead for hungry and thirst before him go to the relief thing. Because we Andrew want to make a killing off of this thing when come to Jamaica. And I yield back the floor.
All right. Now that being said, let me just ask Brother Ratty to close us out. Brother Ratty.
Yeah, it's Melting Pot made the point that Prime Minister couldn't do all of them things upon him own. Must have people who can aid and abet. And it's a critical point because one of the things the Prime Minister said, was that when he moved PEM into his office was that is the place to coordinate, as if they weren't coordinating before. And so ask yourself this. You move it to the Prime Minister's office now. Who's going to be responsible for the coordination that's going to take place between this agency and all the other agencies? It's not the Prime Minister. It's not him. You know who is the Prime Minister's permanent secretary?
Rocky
It's
Mead.
none other than Rocky Mead. It's Rocky Mead.
General Lampile, man.
Yeah, the man who him pluck from the military and then make him ambassador plenipotentiary, give him the title and everything like that. And then remember them try to put him in a parliament as the head of all of the permanent secretaries. Them and them said no, that can't work. It violates all kinds of civil service rules. And then they make him ambassador plenipotentiary. And no, him in the Prime Minister's office. No, think about it. This is a man who has been taking orders from the Prime Minister, you know, for years. For years. And so them come and them take more orders. And then who them get? Them get another man from the military for run the agency. So him have 2 military men now around the whole thing. So we think I got, remember now, the military now, they have been trained to do what? Not to have discussions and argue, follow orders.
Yeah.
That's what they've been trained to do, to follow orders. So when the Prime Minister said, this is what I want, them say, yes, sir, and then make it happen. So, you know, people, this tragedy, this devastation called Melissa is an object lesson. It has and continues and will continue to teach us about things that heretofore we weren't paying attention to, or we just ignore them because we weren't affected. But no, everybody affected, because guess what happened now? The people who weren't physically affected, and not very few, because I hear that people in places over in St. Thomas got hit, places in Portland, places in St. Mary, St. Anne, places got hit. Guess what happened now? Food prices going to go up now.
Oh, yes.
Gouging going to start. Everybody going to feel it. And the bond that come in, and, you know, like I said, watch the bond, but watch the loans when the loans come in, because at this of the moment the killing, you know. Because remember, the bond is only like 200 and something million. The loan will be, I suspect, over $1 billion. And at this of the moment, the money, because when them start talk about coupons and issue coupons, you see the games them can't play with coupons. You see them can't play the games.
Yes.
I mean, Melting Pot and Mystic gave you several instances of how that can happen. And I'm sure there are more ways that them can play with it. And so I am heartened by the fact that the Auditor General says that she's going to look. But then again, sometimes I wonder when them people say them are look, if them really are see, you know, because there's a difference between looking and seeing. And when I read some of the reports coming out of the Integrity Commission, coming out of the Auditor General, I mean, she does pretty good work. But keep in mind, people, that she has no authority for bring a lawsuit against any one of them people or prosecute them. She can't do it. Her job is just to conduct her audit and send a report. That's all. That's all she can do. But, you know, she come out and take a stand and say she's going to be proactive about it. And so, fine, no problem. We'll watch her. One of the things I want to bring to everybody's attention is a statement made by noted investigative journalist Zara Burton when she asked a question about the John Crow them, and said that if she noticed she never seen no John Crow down there, and she's wondering if they're going to bring John Crows down there. And truth be told, I took it as a sarcastic comment, saying that, listen, all on a John Crow in the parliament, when you don't pay attention to what's going on down there, the carcasses are piling up. I want to sit down up here, so I want to supposed to go down there and only be the John Crow, since we don't have no John Crow, for remove the carcasses. And what I say that to say this, I would love to see the parliament go down close to the disaster areas, at least for maybe one sitting, and have the parliamentarians them come down in a work suit, water boot, work clothes, not suit, but come prepared for go shoulder to shoulder with the people them, and become attached to the pain and the suffering that the people might go through. I think only through that they'll really have a true appreciation, because I don't think them have a true appreciation of what going on with the people them, because I have several sources who have actually been to ground zero. They've been to St. Elizabeth, Hanover, Westmoreland, St. James, St. Anne, Trelawney. They've been to all those places, and them said to me, say, watch here. What you see on the video is not what we see with our naked eyes. It's a completely different experience. You will be moved to tears, them say, when you come there. You can watch the video and say, wow, they must suffer, yeah. But them say, when you come there, you can feel the heartbeat of the people. You can feel the lack of energy. You can feel the despair, the hopelessness. And you'll have no choice but to extend sympathy, empathy for these people. And you'll do everything in your power to at least help one person. And so we just want to thank you, Mystic Melting Pot, Lillian, for bringing the subject to the fore so that people can understand, because we have a tendency to kind of like look the other way when certain things happen, or just make it just go away and we'll move on to the next subject. But this is a subject that is not going anywhere anytime soon.
Exactly.
Because people are going to be suffering for years to come. There are still communities that have not seen a care package. There are still communities that have not seen a stranger, somebody from outside their community coming in to help them. And yet, we have government with stockpiles of supplies, with helicopters available, other means of transportation. And here is something too. When Beryl came about, remember, they have a list. They sent out a list, you know, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade. So we want you in the diaspora to send us all of these things, and they included steel boats and inflatable boats and this, that. And up to now, we don't know what happened to those things. We don't know what happened to those things. And I guarantee you, these generators, what them say them are give out, and them say them are loan them, because them make the argument that it's given to the government of Jamaica to be used by the people of Jamaica. So once we get past a certain stage where we don't need them, they must be returned. Watch and see what happen, people. Them going to have a warehouse, so them put them things in and watch. A story going to come out like 3-4 years from now, said them gone. Watch. This is just the type of leadership where we have, which is virtually non-existent. And it starts from the top. And you know, the Prime Minister continues to make my point that he's unfit to lead the country. He continues to make that point. I mean, I don't have to make it, he make it for me. And, you know, it's just a matter of time before the people who are suffering, them start raise them voices. Just a matter of time, because some of the people who were afraid and all that stuff, now I hear them talking out slowly but surely, them talking. But the problem is that them can't do much talking, because, you know, you can't talk much when you're hungry. You have to conserve the energy. And so we in a bad state, and be that as it may, we will remain undaunted by the task ahead. We will continue to spread the message, and we will continue to send whatever provisions we can to Jamaica to help out our brothers and sisters. But rest assured that the provisions will not be going to the government. We don't want the government to put their grubby hands on what we're sending. We feel comfortable sending the items to a reputable charitable organization, or to a community, or do it ourselves. And again, one last point. Think about how cruel and insensitive and unfeeling this government is. We have a a hurricane, a Cat 5 that hit Jamaica. Never in the history of Jamaica they get hit with a Cat 5, right? Place at western end of the island, for the most part, devastated. And people are trying to get aid in. And of course, logistically, you're going to have problems. You're going to have delays. And what the Prime Minister said initially, or what the government said initially, that they're only allowing you the duty-free privileges for 30 days, which would have been the end of this month. And people start to raise them voices. And then they say, okay, we're going to do it until the end of December. Think about that, people. This is a disaster that's going to take years to repair. And I'm only going to get the people and people who are bring things in to help them, help Jamaicans. And the argument is, well, people are going to want to put them personal items and this and that and that and that. So where we have customs for? Where we have them for? Them can't ferret that out. And I said last but not least, but here's the last point. Last point is the Global Jamaica Diaspora Council. People, please do not forget, you have to register to vote. The registration ends this Saturday. You have to register to vote. If you notice, this organization, the Global Jamaica Diaspora Council, you don't hear nothing from them regarding assistance to the Jamaican people. Nothing. And you know why? Because it's run by the government. It's not a 501c3 and then can't do certain fundraising activities. Now think about it, people. If we should have taken over this organization and make it truly a diaspora organization, think about what we could do if it was a 501c3 and we could raise funds throughout the year. It would have been an easy thing for us to say we are going to send down 2 or 3 containers to help the people. And we are go down there. Not only we are send, but we are go down there as a force. And we are going to unify the people and we are going to help the people. But no, because you know why? It's run by the government, controlled by the government, influenced by the government, and it's about time we take a stand and make sure that it truly reflects its name. It's called Global Jamaica Diaspora Council. It's not called Global Jamaica Government Council. It's not called that. It could never be called that and operate here in the US and in Canada and in the UK and elsewhere. So people, I beseech you, I beg you, go out and register to vote. Vote. The registration period ends this Saturday and voting will take place about 5 days after. Register to vote and come check me out Saturday and we'll tell you who to vote for. Thank you very much.
All right. Let us just take a call from Sister Pat before we break off tonight. Sister Pat.
Yeah, man. Good night, Melting Pot. Good night, Sarah.
Good night, Sister Pat.
Good night.
We don't know, but we'll never be full. If you get something for the people as a government body, what is it all the night to get on chop with the army and kind of they're going to distribute people? Me have me sit down and ask myself, what really happen? You get so much things from the people from foreign for you in, and out of your pockets, and you say you have government, you have the army, you have a fire truck, and other people. Why you not use up those resources and give the people? Imagine the rain fall right now. Imagine where them the people down the west are going, we don't have no house. You know them feel night cold. With all the young baby, them are the elderly, they can't move. And this man just get up in a parliament every day at the press conference. And the press conference now go nowhere.
Nowhere.
It's not going nowhere. Then just hook them mouth.
Yes,
and put their thinking foot in there.
Kill them with press conference.
Yo, brother. We don't know, but the next question I want to ask is there's a way where people can email the donor them, like the person, like the country will send the generator and things. If there's a way nobody can email them and put them like a petition and make them know what's really happening in Jamaica. Somebody, we don't know. Some international UN, EU, or whatever them be, need to come to the rescue of Jamaica people. I said that we don't know. I said a diaspora with authority harder come make some report to so whether the king, the whosoever, and then come back to make up the ground and see what's happening. Or this thing is more than what we naturally can see.
Well,
the design.
Well, Sister Pat, as I said earlier, that the people have to recognize that they have the powers in their hand. Yeah. And when you look around and see the example of other countries where the people show the government that they have the power, it's all about that. That the Jamaican people need to recognize as it relates to what other countries have done. Show the country that the people have the power. That's all I can say.
I can tell you, I live here and hunger and strike at Jamaica. I mean,
right.
Serious food shortage. Because right now, you've not sent pen and no rice no there also. So, when we see a creeping back when we was a child, in the 80s, where you have to buy this, forget that. And that are creeping. Even right now, in a center, some part of center, no rice no there, no flour, no corn no there, no sugar no there. Yeah. You can go to a buy 5 pounds of rice. They want to tell us that 2 pounds you can get. Because it have to stretch. But you know when we live here, mash up. I don't say a ground zero, but some people. So all right, make fix it. Persons living in this community get licked just like ground zero. Not all, but enough people not have the house. They must live with somebody or they migrate. They live gone somewhere else. But their house blow down, flat. And no, we don't see no government personnel come to your rescue. Same thing now, I buried and come back, that same thing. Buried gone, me lose 6 big 11 have pregnant, lose all stuff, everything. And until now, I don't see an agency, nobody. Come back this time, I same thing. Only thing me don't have no hug this time. I'm going to put back no more in there. So, Byron, I don't have to continue doing nothing, but me I tell you. My grandfather did from 1978. Remember, I share this with him. Said me go a shop. Me a calm boy, no fling, my hand no miss. So Papa tell any money come in, I encourage him. He said me a shop and put a put and I go. And buy all the ways I should buy. Give me $2 that I want really live pick the penny. Care back in change. He said to me, say change wrong, cause this, that. Miss baby girl next door call and said, no man's done. Like I said, flower raise and raise. Papa said, hi boy, I will be soon gone, but with that back fat. Like this no. Right, Baron? I eat this.
All right.
But you gotta go into me. Yeah.
Well.
Big up on yourself. Yeah,
bless up yourself, Sister P. Well, all right, honey, let me hand over to you for closing us out.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, thank you guys as usual for tuning in. Thanks to the panel for the insightful discussion. And thank you to the 2 persons who donated tonight, Lyndall and Corinne. Really appreciate that. And I'm just going to say have a wonderful and blessed night and safe travel on the gravel until next time.
All right. Melting Pot and Rattigan, thank you so much. All right. Love the vibes. All right.
Bless up everybody. All right.
Big up. Enough blessings.
I know why you come to me with that foolishness, you know. You elect a prime minister, and is a prime minister run the country. It is time we learn to hold our leaders accountable for their actions and stop making excuses for them. Stop making excuses. Otherwise, go elect the people who really run in the country. And I don't want the right kind of stupid argument. Hold the people you elect accountable and stop making excuses for them.